get a few followers. Once we get to about 10, we'll go ahead and get started. But it's a new year. We starting to everything off with a bang. Football season's on its way. You know,
It's
uh,
here.
High school football pretty much is really here right now. I look forward to seeing a lot of teams, a lot of players. We had guys last year that are off to school. So it's just interesting for me. I can't wait. I really can't wait. What about yourself?
Yeah, same thing, man. Just interesting to go back and look at our list from last year and basically see how it all panned out. Seeing a lot of the top guys, we're reading and seeing a lot on social media about them making immediate impacts. So that's real a real neat thing to keep track of, so to speak.
Okay, so since you started that, go ahead and talk about a few of those guys. As I start tagging some of these coaches and people like that to take a look at what we're talking about.
Well, I know I've seen on social media at UCF, Nakai Martinez, he's having a pretty good camp. I know in their last scrimmage, he led all defensive players in production points. So for a guy that just graduated, that's pretty big. Another cornerback actually in Syracuse, Jeremiah Wilson out of Osceola. He's up there. I seen a clip. He had a one-handed interception on the goal line in one-on-ones.
Okay.
And the coaches have been saying nothing but good things about him. And then Zane Durant out up in Penn State. Seeing a lot of news about Zane making an immediate impact at Penn State, and the list goes on and on. I've seen Javen Robinson, Jaden Gibson. I've seen quite a number of young men from Central Florida on our list last year making impacts in camps right away.
That's good. That's good stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Let's go ahead and get started. Because I know that time is valuable. We're gonna be doing this every week. It's starting at 7 p.m. to 8. So that's on Thursdays. So that when football season starts happening, NFL style, we're not interfering with nobody. So that's going to be a good thing to do. So with that being said, without any other to do, man, let's go ahead and get it cranking. Let's see here. Uh, we're going to talk a little bit today, and we got the little ticker going. We're going to talk a little bit today, a little chop up, which we're doing. We're going to talk about start off with the player rankings. Uh, the player rankings was pretty hot. A lot of the stuff is what on Twitter, YouTube. Make sure that you guys go out and subscribe to the YouTube channel and the Twitter channel. What are those, AJ?
Twitter is Elite 100 Prospects. Same thing with YouTube, and the same thing with Facebook.
Okay, so for those, we have some decent people in the world, but can you spell that for some of these people? Some people, their educational process wasn't the same.
We got Elite, ELITE, Prospects, PROSPECTS, Elite Prospects. Elite 100 Prospects, excuse me. So
I'm about
just
to say,
Elite 100 Prospects. And once you add in 100 and you get to Pro and the S and the P, it'll normally populate and you'll be able to find us with our logo.
all right. Well, I tell you what, man. Well, since we doing it, we start off with the player rankings. You can go ahead and because you have the rankings in front of you. We're not going to give you guys a full list. It's 10 guys at each position. But what we're going to do today for time and brevity, we're going to talk about what top 3 to 5 at each position. Uh, Top three, and then maybe some honorable mention kids or whatever the case may be. You want to get started with what do you want to start off with?
We start with the
Offensive
D
defense,
tackle. We
D
start with the
tackle.
big boys, startup
All right,
line.
all right. Well,
Um,
let's talk about them.
Coming at number three, D tackle at Jones High School now, transfer from Lake Minneola, Jacob Thornton. His junior season was cut short due to injury, but he's a very, very good interior lineman. Plays both ways, but I think this year he's going to focus. I don't know what he's gonna do, but I'm thinking he's gonna focus on D line, knowing the offensive line depth that Jones has. So I think Jacob's a terrific athlete at D tackle. Excuse me.
Yeah, Jacob is definitely. But before we get started, because some people asked this before, how did we come up with the rankings?
Come up with the rankings basically, looking at the players, looking at what they are now and potential on what they could be at the next level. Um, Obviously, you look at stats. Stats aren't the biggest thing, but stats do play a factor. And the eye test, looking at hours of film, and came up with a committee. The committee all had votes, and we come up with each position, and then that's how we would vote the top 10 position and the honorable mention guys.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about the committee is, it's coaches and trainers around Central Florida uh, that, that basically, are in our game. If you're interested in working the game, contact Coach AJ Brooks. That's important. Uh, it's really good because we have opportunity for those guys, and it's a lot of arguing and stuff like that, because everybody's fighting for their guys. If it's someone personally I know, like two kids, like Jacob was my cousin, so I recuse myself from that vote. And of course, my son, I recuse myself from his vote as well. But a lot of these other kids, I'll probably talk more about Jacob's family, so I ain't gonna say too much about him. I hope that he has a great season. Hope that the good Lord has blessed him with his injuries, and I hope that he goes out there and get a scholarship. Who we got number two?
Number two, we got a young man out of Melbourne, Marquell Ford Watson. Now, when I tell you this stat line, it's going to sound crazy. Young man had 144 tackles.
At the D tackle spot.
At the D tackle, do you know the havoc you causing?
Yeah,
Looking at his film, just first step,
he got to be
relentless,
all over the place, right?
all over the place. Right, real good
Yeah,
athlete.
'cause
Um,
144. That's in what? How many games?
well, Melbourne went to the playoffs. I believe they lost in the second round or the third round, one of the
Let's
two.
let's say let's
So
give
it's
him
at least
13 games. That's
13
still over.
games.
That's still over 10 tackles a game,
That's
which
getting
is
at it.
which that's getting at it for the D. That'd be hella fine for a linebacker.
I
You
don't
know,
know. I don't know who's the stat guy in Melbourne, but I definitely will be thanking him as well. He must be getting he get a piece. He getting some of that tackle, boy. I
Nah, I
don't.
can tell you, now his daddy got to be paying him like $1 a tackle. That dude try to get that dude out there chasing down
That dude
the
get ten
screen.
dollars a
Right,
tackle, man.
right. He gets something. I'm dating myself. $1 a tackle would have worked for me back in the day.
Mm-mm.
But hey man, of course the number one position. Who we give that to?
You know who it is. Go ahead, let
I
the
know.
people know.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Big John Walker at Osceola Kissimmee. John is definitely a man among boys. More importantly, John is really a good kid. He really, really is. I've known his family for some time. Really good family, really good kid. I'm very, John is unique because he turned down a lot to go to UCF. So
A
he
lot,
want like he can truly say he wanted to be a hometown hero. Because I
seriously.
promise you, he turned down a lot to go to UCF, like with name, image, and likeness and stuff of that nature. So hope it works out for him. UCF, is on the up and coming. Their D tackle coaches, actually, for people who don't know, their D line coaches from Orlando went to Coy High School. Real good brother. If you guys, want to support, support UCF, it'd be good because there's a lot of hometown people around there.
Yeah, John. He clear pick for number one. He had 77 tackles and 13 sacks last year. And a very very good ball club. So yeah, John Walker's our number one D tackle.
Yeah, John Walker. Hey, we don't rank we haven't ranked the players like individually. That's something that we'll wait till the end of the season. But John could easily be one of like top one or two guys in the
Yeah,
area.
it's him
Shout
and
out.
one other guy that I think it's only
Hey, now that's the thing about it. You got to play the game. You never know. Like we talking
yeah
about what they do with the season. That's one thing we'll talk about later.
preseason
Yeah.
ranking
Yeah, no,
preseason.
we didn't rank them this time. Like last year, we actually did. Last year, we ranked them 1 through 100. This
Yeah,
year, we didn't do it because we
you
just
remember who was one last year?
hmm Do you
Who?
do you remember?
Zane,
Uh huh. Yeah,
Big Zane
you
Durant.
remember. All
Yep.
right. So, and by the way, coach of the Koi, the coach that played the Koi is Kenny Martin. I didn't say his name, but Kmart is what they call him. He's the D line coach over there at UCF. You got some nice ones over there. All right, so we got those guys. Matter of fact, uh, now let's go to what the DNs.
Yep. Go move on outside
All
to
right,
the D ends.
all right. So
D
we just
ends
gonna go
was
defense. I got you.
defensive end was loaded. Well, I'm starting with the big guys. I want to get the big guys out of the way, give them their respect up front because they normally get a little juicy with them
Cool. No,
skill
I'm
players.
definitely. I'm definitely. Let's go defense. Then we'll end up on offense.
Right. So then we got defensive end was loaded, honestly. Number 4, Cameron James out of Olympia. I think he just committed to Florida this weekend.
Yes, he did.
Just committed to Florida. Potential, his upside is there. He was a productive player. Out of all the other players in the top 5, top 4, his team was the most, I would say, mediocre, so to speak. But he's a great
Damn,
player.
man, I
Um,
said mediocre. Hey,
hey
I
man,
remember.
I'm just being
Hey,
honest.
hey, you know, Olympia.
Average,
That
you know what I mean?
Olympia. That was AJ Brooks. That wasn't AGYC. But go
You
ahead.
you you know Olympia record last year?
Yeah, yeah, I know it. I
Five
just
and
said
five. That's that's average,
that man
mediocre. I'm
said
not
mediocre.
lying.
All right, well, go ahead. Go ahead. You know.
Well, I take that back. It's another one on here, but yeah, Mr. Cameron James. I mean, he's expected to have a big senior season, highly rated all across the country. Committed to SEC school, going to Florida. So it'd be interesting to see how successful he is this year.
All right, all right. So then we got him with you, and he was number 4.
Number 4.
Okay, who you have at number 3?
Number 3 is Calvin Smith. I like this young man. He's out of Coy. Um, Great athlete. I'm talking the minute you see him, he looks the part. I think he has a good game between strength and finesse. He's a coach's kid, so obviously, he's very very smart football wise. But Calvin Smith last year he had 62 tackles, 29 tackles for loss, and 10 sacks. So very productive young man throughout the season for Okoye.
Let me say this too. Um, this is definitely, and not just this one, but there are quite a few that guys are in the top 4 or 5. It really could have went. The guy that's number 4 could have been number
Could have
1.
been one.
The guy that's number 2 is so it's no detriment. Just that's the way the votes came up. Uh, Once again, with Cameron, I personally believe he has a huge upside. Probably out of all the guys that we're talking about, his upside is higher. Uh, he's a kid that, in my opinion, if he played offensive tackle, he would be the number 1 offensive tackle in the country. That would just period. He really would, and he has the ability to do it because I'm old school, so I know that guys who play basketball, which he did, guys who are 6'8", 6'7", 6'9", that play basketball with good feet and good hands, generally make a lot of money in the NFL playing offensive tackle. Like
Left
generally,
tackle, baby.
they you generally make a lot of money, and I'm just shocked. I don't know if I don't know if schools are going to move him or if he's interested in it. And I know his dad, real good brother, real good brother. Comes from a great family. Uh, I hope that they at least take a look at it because I know for a fact he would make a boatload of money being offensive tackle because he's the
I
only
mean,
guy
what is he? He's already what 6'6", 6'6" and a half.
6'7", 6'8", easily. I mean,
Man, he
he
might
played.
outgrow the position.
Yeah, he easily, to be honest, if he grow 3 more inches, he gonna have to go to basketball. But the beautiful thing is, I watched him last year in the basketball game. That's what made me see it. He went against old boy at Kansas, and he did his thing. So he's definitely a good athlete, good kid. Coach Gabe, I did not call y'all mediocre. I would have said average because 5 and 5 is average. But
I was just
but
trying to use my vocabulary a little bit.
yeah,
That's
it's not,
all.
hey, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. So and then we get with Calvin. Calvin's a dynamic kid. I would have he would have been number 1 on my list just because we got the same birthday. So good kid, great leader. Got a big motor. Like you said, definitely probably the most athletic out of everybody in at that position.
Yeah.
Because could probably play a little outside linebacker if needed. In a 3-4. So good kid. Number 2. Who we got at
Number
number 2?
2, a Pop Kazone, Caven Call. I mean, if you've been around this area, I mean, you know Caven. He's been on varsity, I believe, since his freshman year.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, last year he had 52 tackles, 7 sacks. Um, played on a team that went to the state championship, lost in the state championship. But he was one of their leaders, or one of their playmakers, so to speak, on the defensive side of the ball. So Caven Call committed to UCF, another hometown hero, at the number 2 spot.
Yeah, man. I've known Caven was one of his first coaches. Really good kid, comes from a great family. Definitely, uh, Caven would probably do more damage, but he's a great selfless kid. He's doing damage now, but the defense they run kind of forces Caven to do certain things. He can't almost kind of like big Jalen Carter. Those guys don't get opportunity to really show what they could do. Caven is probably going to do way better on the next level. Uh, and so I look forward to watching him. He's another kid that went to UCF. Kenny Martin has done a great job of recruiting the area. And Caven is definitely another good athletic kid. Believe it or not, at one point I thought for certain Caven was going to play basketball. He had a real nice game. Had a jumper. All that he just, he was 6'3", 6'4", but he just didn't grow. I thought Caven was going to be 6'9", Ben Simmons, that kind of stuff. But he has a good game, good kid too. Uh, Expect a lot of him at Apopka this year. It's going to be interesting because he's now going to have to be the leader of that defense. He's
Yep.
always had a bunch of leaders in front of him. So from Jalen Carter to Nakai Martinez to Robinson to Trayvon Barnes. So it's going to be interesting to see what lead he takes this year. And then number one, who we got?
Number 1, we got Derek LeBlanc, out of Osceola, committed to Oklahoma. Very, what's the word? The body. He's a long,
Prototypical.
you prototypical defensive end. 6'5", 260. I think he can play the run and the pass. Good hands. Derek LeBlanc on that defensive line with John Walker. I mean, that's just the thing about them two on the same defensive line is just crazy.
Yeah, that's actually to be honest, uh, you know that's a lot. The
That's
thing
a
about
whole
Central
lot.
Florida, believe it or not, they've had some great defensive line guys. Or like you don't know it, but they've had some really good defensive line guys over the last few years. I do want to hit on something because Mister Pine Hills, one of my good friends, and also one of the best referees around. Real name is Adrian. I have to say that because in case he refs my son games, but no, just no joking because he's really probably one of the most fairest refs out there. He just was arguing on here about is mediocre and average are the same, and I'm like, no, they're not.
See, it's the
Mediocre means
same.
mediocre is not very good. Average means you're half, half and half.
But
You're
it's the
not really
same
good. You're not really
thing.
bad. So I
Stop
just
it.
want to make sure that we understand that.
Gabe,
All right.
don't listen to this man. I meant
So
I
Gabe,
mean they were 5-5. You are what your record are. You are what your record is. They was 5-5, man.
yeah, Gabe will listen to it. I will probably get the call tomorrow. But anyway, man, so we talked about D Blanc. I talked to Derek. Derek, as a matter of fact, I talked to Derek today. Great kid. Tell you one thing, true story. Went to his signing, man. So on the way to his signing, they were like, oh, because Derek's Haitian. They was like, they're gonna have some Haitian food. And I was like, man, I ain't never ate no Haitian food. And I'm old school. So man, if I ain't done it by now, I ain't doing it. So we get there. So Derek's mom was like, "Man, you need to eat this food." But also, I'm old school, so you know, a mom asked you to eat, I ate. Man, that thing was so fire. Man, I was in that thing like, "Mama, when the next time you cooking?" So no wonder that boy big, because his mama can cook. I'm talking about, ooh, I'm telling you. So all the Haitian people out there, I apologize. I want all the Haitian food. If you want to give it to me, just contact me. It's on and popping because it really was like that. So big
That's
shout out to
funny.
him and his family. He's going, of course, going to Oklahoma with Gibby, and I'm very proud of him. And we hope that we would definitely hope that all these kids stay healthy all year. All right, so
Absolutely.
now we go to going to outside linebacker.
Nah, man. We're gonna stay with the big nasties up front. We're gonna go to O line. We're gonna
Oh,
go big uglies.
I said offense defense, but go ahead.
Nah,
Go ahead.
yeah, we're gonna go
Is
back to
it-
linebackers.
yeah, all
Linebackers is
right,
a
that's
skill
fine. That's
position.
fine. That's fine.
Let's go to O line though. Coming at number 4, we got Tyree out of Apopka, committed to Pitt. Um, I mean, he's a people mover. He's aggressive. He's nasty. He's everything you want in the offensive lineman. He pegged at the 4th spot.
All right, yeah, Tyree's been around for a minute.
Minute.
Uh, and I'd like to see him get a little bit more aggressive. Even though he's very aggressive. I'm talking about aggressive. When I say aggressive, I'm talking about the football field. He's aggressive. I'm talking about just his movements and stuff like that. Be a little bit more sure. But if that guy learns to move, he's gonna be a problem. Because right now, he's very aggressive as far as attacking his man. But I like to
Right.
see them let him pull a little bit more and let him go out there and really do some damage on some of them linebackers.
I mean that you got a style of offense. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
true,
I'm not sure
true.
if they pull it in that offense like
Yeah,
that,
you're
but
true. All right, what we got number three?
coming at number three, this guy is so big, man. Chris St. Jean at Evans.
Yeah,
I know you really like Chris. His
yeah.
potential, his
I can tell you right
upside
now,
is
if
through the
if
roof.
like just so y'all know, for certain, stop Panella. See now you got he know that food was good, man. Tell the people how good the Haitian food was. That's the head coach, and Osceola talking about bro chill. No, that food was good. You chill. Make sure I get some at the next coaches meeting. But no, no man. Honestly, and this how you know that this is not my rankings because I'm telling y'all straight up, this kid would be my number one offensive lineman. And I'm just telling you straight up. Uh, Kid is physical. Like the kid's pop in his hands. If he hits you with them hands, you're not moving. I don't care who you are. And he has such a big upside because he hasn't really played the position, and he's really he's really really that good. So, oh my bad. Pine Hill said he was talking to him. All right, my bad, man. I apologize. I
What'd he
apologize.
say?
Pine Hill said that Pinellas was talking to him, talking about
Oh,
chill.
oh, oh, oh.
But I thought he was talking about me and that Haitian food. 'Cause the Haitian food was off the chain. But yeah, Big Chris is gonna be a problem. And then he has Kennard over there that kind of can tell him what defensive ends are trying to do to him.
Right.
So I kind of expect him to have a really really good season, and probably at the end of the year, he's gonna probably have a lot of schools trying to get him to come to their school.
What is this? His third year playing football?
Might be the second.
Second or third? Like
Yeah.
potential is out of the roof with him.
Yeah, it might be the second. Chad Masco says Jamarian McCrimmon, offensive tackle, 4 year starter, 6'7". Well, Chad, we just got to two. I don't know who we just did three. I don't know who two and one is.
Now
So,
he
but
two is Mr. Lovett out of Rockledge, Bryce Lovett,
that's
committed
my
to
man.
Florida.
Yeah, that's my man I saw at the Jones game, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Now I take that back. He would be number one.
Oh, so
He
like,
was
see,
like,
this is what you
yeah,
doing?
he would be.
Because you said
No,
he
no,
was
no.
number one.
Chris would be number one. But I'm saying if you went off of that Jones game, he had him a hell of a game. He really did. The kid, like I said, like I told everybody earlier, you could argue number one for a lot of these kids.
A lot
And
of them.
if that kid was to put his hand on the table like I'm number one, I couldn't even fight him because he did a really good job against Jones. He really did.
Absolutely. Yep. So
All
he
right.
had the two spot. And then number one, we got Peyton Kirkland, PK, out of Dr. Phillips, committed to Texas, scheduled to be a Longhorn. So um, Peyton also has that basketball background that you spoke on. And I mean, I guess he realized the sport that was better for him at the time, which was football, and now he's starting to excel at it. And pretty highly ranked tackle. So PK
Yeah.
coming at the number one spot.
PK, known him for a long time. Great kid. Would love to see PK, excel. Um, I like, we're gonna see definitely. I mean, I think he definitely is probably, like I say, he's definitely a kid you could order number one. He has probably, in my opinion, probably the best offensive line guys around him at DP.
Oh
DP,
yeah, for sure.
he's definitely, well coached. If he doesn't do it, it's only because of him. And maybe since Chad, and we forgot to do it earlier because Chad, we the top 10 isn't out. So we just only doing four to three kids a position just for time constraints. But if you want to see the top 10, once again, shameless plug, go to what?
Elite 100 prospects on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
All right, so hey, that's all. So let's move on to we got my girl Tanya, my home girl back home. She said hook 'em horns because they love the Longhorns back home. Let's say Who's next up? We said we got O
Let's go to
line,
linebackers. Now let's go to
linebacker.
linebackers. Let's go
All
to
right.
linebackers.
Can we just
Um,
stick with defense all the way through, or you going?
nah, man.
Let's
Okay,
do
so
because
now it's gonna be defense. It's gonna be all defense until we
yeah,
get to all. Yeah, it's all defense
I
now.
appreciate that way. I can keep my
I'm
focus.
just saying,
Uh,
man, I had to go to the big uglies, then
yeah.
now I go to the
And
skilled
the
guys. You know what
yeah,
I mean? It always get crazy.
I've always like the defense is more, they more hood, they like New Yorkish, and the skill guys are more, Texas, California, But anyway, let's get up with them linebackers. Who we got? And we going
Linebackers,
inside. Are we do we do inside line, outside, or do
we
we just do
we put them all
all
together,
of
and
them?
that, and
That's
that
what I
was the
thought.
thing with the votes. I mean, you looking at linebackers inside, outside. I mean, we just did linebacker. So linebacker was a real. It was a tight position. It's on this list. We got 6 kids on this list that have 90 or more tackles. Um, Kids
Let's
got
just go with the top three.
119 tackles, 107 tackles. Like
Yeah,
these boys is tackling.
they
Get see
still ain't got
ball,
one.
get
They still
ball.
ain't got 144, but that's another story.
Nah,
But
see that's why I gotta check into that one because the number
that's a
10
lot of tackles,
linebacker
bro.
on here, he on the same team. He got 105.
Yeah, nah, somebody pad stats. But anyway,
Yeah, man. It's like
EP, before I forget, you saw it on Twitter. Tell me what you think, EP. Tell me what you think. If you got a beef or problem, let us know. We not sensitive over here. You can't be an AG or AJ if you sensitive. Go ahead, AJ. So who we got? Who we got number three with linebacker?
number. Let's go for four
Four?
because 2 and 3 is a combo. Number four,
I
we
got
go
you.
Mr. Nicholson out of Parker. Malik.
My
He's a
favorite player out of everybody on the list. I can tell
he's a
y'all that straight up.
dog. When I say
I,
a dog, he's a
my,
dog. He
my
gonna fly
favorite player.
around. He not afraid to hit you in the mouth, but he got enough finesse in his game. You'll see him at running back this year as well. The kid, I believe he's going to be a Parker's playmaker. And
He's my
the
favorite kid.
team success, he's going to have a lot to do with it.
He's my favorite kid. He works hard, great attitude. Competes. He's definitely my favorite kid. I wish nothing but the best on him because like he works hard, and I as a former coach, that's all I love. Is kids to work hard.
All
All
right.
right, who we got number two or
Two
number
and
three?
three is
Number three.
it's a combo pick, man.
All right,
They
who is it?
twins. The twins out of Lake Brantley.
Okay,
They've been together their whole life, so we just gonna keep them together. They at 2 and 3. Hometown heroes committed to UCF. Um, 10-9, 10-8 speed at linebacker. I think possibly could play strong safety at the next level. But I like those guys. Very athletic linebackers.
if I don't know, like they high school, they definitely are playing linebacker. I don't know if it's going to translate to safety on the next level. I hope they got, like I said, they got track speed. That's a lot of it, and they definitely when they get there, they bring in the wood. But I don't know, if it's going to translate. I hope that they would gain a little weight.
Right.
That's what I hope. If they gain a little weight and stay at
And we'll
linebacker,
see. Right,
I
right,
think
right.
that would be, a little
Stay
bit better for
outside.
them. Uh, I don't know if they could really handle, playing safety at, a power like Big 12 conference, but
Stay in the box.
linebacker,
Yeah, Big 12 pass.
I think linebacker, they definitely could do it. Uh, and then okay, we got EP to EP say he don't know about the DB rankings. Talk, man. Look, man. We doing the show, but if
Hey,
you
we
got
getting
something to say,
see. You see why we
look,
say the DBs?
no, no, no. But
That's
what
why
I'm saying is,
DBs gonna be by last.
I need him to tell me what it is. I don't want to hear. Look, if you got a beef with the rankings, tell me what it is. Don't just say, "Hey, man, I don't know about the DB rankings," but I'm gonna have something to say about that as well when it
Hey,
comes to
don't
them.
worry. We
Yeah,
gonna get
don't
to
get
the
me started.
DBs.
All right, but so now we in number one.
Number one, we got Malik Bryant from Jones High School, transferring back home. Transferring back home from IMG. So we got
Hometown
Malik
hero.
Bryant at number
That's
one.
a hometown hero for me. Like that, if he coming back to play with his boys, Malik is definitely uh, one of the the better guys out there. Combo at this point, he can play DN, he can play outside linebacker.
Right.
Very athletic. Definitely mature beyond his years. Has a maturity above him that most people don't have. Committed nobody can really see that AJ because you're not the screen's not big enough. But committed to the U, you'd have to back
Yes.
up a little bit. But
The
that's what
U.
he's trying to say. But yeah, real good kid. I expect a lot out of him. He's definitely a kid that probably should play a little earlier in college. But But so there ain't too much more to say. We're gonna see Malik, at Northwestern game.
Yep.
I look forward to it. They call it the new Soul Bowl, so we'll see. Even though I find it disrespectful to Evans, but that's another story. We'll talk about that later. But so we got, I'm gonna speed it up because I know we're getting short on time.
Let's
What's
go to
next?
athletes. Let's go to athletes.
So
Athletes
we
coming in
went.
at number
I
coming
thought you
in.
said we sticking with defense. Let's go on and get
I
on these
mean, it
DBs.
is, bro. All right, bro. We go defense. Where do you want to go? Corners.
DBs. Safeties. Let's save corners for last because
All
we're
right,
gonna
let's go
spend five,
safety.
10 minutes on
Nah,
corners.
nah. Let's go athletes.
All
Exactly.
right.
I want to say them DBs for last. That's
All
juicy.
right.
But let's go
Okay.
athletes. Number 3, we got D Wade, Dylan Wade out of Jones. Um, I mean, in his high school career, the man has played quarterback, defensive end, like
Tight end.
true quarterback,
Tight
wildcat
end.
quarterback, tight end, outside linebacker. Um, he truly could have an argument for saying like, bro, I should have been a number one athlete because I'm probably the most productive at the most positions, so
In
to
my
speak.
in my position, he is the number one athlete. I just flat out
Um,
say it because
so
his sophomore year, Coy. If it wasn't for him, they had a good season. It was basically all because of him
right
at quarterback.
at quarterback,
He's definitely one of the better athletes around for certain, and
right.
can hoop a little bit too. So that's another,
Cool.
But all right, so we got Dylan at number 3. Who's number 2?
Number 2, we got Goldie Lawrence out of Seminole. 15, 18, 15 touchdowns last year, receiving over 700 yards. He also plays that wildcat position.
Right.
He stole a lot of my boy Luke Rucker touchdowns down there. But yeah, Goldie Lawrence committed to Florida State. He's at the number 2 spot.
Yeah, Goldie's definitely one. He's probably honestly the best athlete out of all these guys.
See, you just
But
said D
but but
Wade.
but I'm talking about if we just talking about D Wade, you've seen it. Like Goldie, they have. I think this year they're gonna put him at defensive back a little bit more
Yep,
this year. So
yep.
you're gonna be able to see it. That's why I tell people, don't be surprised by mid-season. A lot of these guys, you're gonna be like, wow, they like that. No, we know who the like that guys are. We really do. Don't they get it confused because of the stats that they school. We know
Like
who to like,
we
and
know the
so yeah.
dog.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. Goldie's like that.
He is
So I just want to make sure that everybody knows, athletically wise, he the one with the vertical. He the one with the
speed,
speed. He the one with the power.
the
So right,
attitude, the
right. So
confidence.
attitude, no. Goldie too chill. That's the most chill. Goldie is the most chill guy I've ever met in my life. But he's a dog. So
Let
but
him
he's
turn
chill.
up. Let
Yeah,
him turn up. You'll
he
see
don't
it
turn up. Yeah, he don't turn up often, but when he do,
when
but
he
I'm
do.
saying,
Let him turn up.
but he's chill. He ain't, like if I'm a
Good
kid
kid.
playing Goldie, all I'm gonna do, I ain't talking no noise to him. I'm gonna tell him, you know what, you're a great player. Goldie gonna be chill. I'm telling you. Like, but if you start talking noise, then you probably gonna
He
have a
gonna get
different kind of
amped.
guy. So
Yeah.
who we got number 1?
Number 1, we got Robert Stafford out of E Galley.
Yeah,
I mean, he's committed to the University of Miami as well.
yeah.
I mean, athlete.
Nah, he's an athlete too. Like I'm saying,
He's an
he's definitely
athlete with an
He's
F.
definitely, yeah, he's an athlete. He's definitely that guy. I mean, all those guys, like I say, him and Goldie are athletes. They
Right.
like, as far as production, like I say, if you look at what Dylan Wade did as far as on the field, I would give him the nod. He literally has film at each position that looks quality.
Correct.
But far as we just talk about athletes, yeah, both of them, all those two boys are different. They got a
But
different
like
kind
you
of
said, here's another position where the top 3, any of them could have been 1, 2, or 3.
easily, easily. So yeah, I look forward to seeing all those guys. It's going to be interesting because what it just generally happens is guys senior year. That's when you a lot of times get to see them be an athlete. You really truly get
Right.
to see, like sometimes you didn't get to see guys that could do certain things that you didn't even have a clue that they could do, and it's going to be very interesting. So
I
so
mean,
I
the
look
reason why is because most of them are from prominent programs, Osceola, Seminole. You look at Seminole. Seminole didn't need Goldie at DB last year.
now they had
You
other
know what I mean?
guys.
They had other guys that's in college right now. So it's
Right.
like this year, his senior year is more of a need. So
Oh no,
you'll see him
he's
at
probably their
DB for
best
sure.
DB. He's probably their best DB. So, but he's their best receiver. He's their best running back. He's their best. He's not their best quarterback. I ain't gonna say that, but he's a problem. So we took care of those guys.
I'm
So
not
let's
gonna
go
say
back.
he's their best running back either. I'm not gonna disrespect their running backs like that.
Yeah, he's their best running back. I will. Goldie's their best. Goldie's their best guy. If that's what they want to do. But go ahead. Who you got? What we up with next?
Safeties. Let's go to safety.
All right, let's talk about him. Who we got?
We'll go number 4. Mr. Allen out of Rockledge. Pinellas Allen out of Rockledge. He's a fierce tackle. He's aggressive. Um, he's going to be a leader on that team. Brevard County, the list, Brevard County actually had the most safeties. So their safeties in Brevard County, they play good football out there. T. Roan is his D
Hold on. Before I
coordinator.
get, I just thought about something. T. Ron, forget T. Ron. That's another story. But I'm T. Ron's my boy. I ain't gonna mess with him. But EP trying to tell us he don't know about the DB rankings. Don't he got two DBs? But that's another story. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
we'll get
Yeah,
there. I don't
yeah,
know what. Don't. Oh,
yeah,
listen.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
let's go to safety. Let's finish
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
So
yeah.
number 4, Pinellas Allen at Rockledge. He's number 4. Number 3, we got Ethan Cole out of Lake Mineola. Big, strong, aggressive safety. Could run very well.
Yeah.
Ethan is committed to Purdue.
Purdue.
Purdue. Yep, committed to Purdue. So I think he should have a very good, productive senior season. I know Banks, he'll be depending on him to lead the defense out there at Lake Mineola.
Yeah, Banks. Hey, shout out to Coach Banks. Definitely one of my friends out there. He's training running backs, not now. He's doing all that out there in Lake. He's done a great job of making Lake County relevant.
Right.
So guys need to, definitely, give him his props, give him his flowers while he's here. Who we got at number 2?
Number 2, we got Mr. Eli Campbell out of Seabreeze, representing Volusia County. Kid had 96 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 interceptions. I think between him and Jeremy Purtle West, they were the best 2 defenders on that team last year. Obviously, I think they probably helped each other out. Jeremy had a lot of sacks for Seabreeze last year as a
Right,
senior.
right.
Eli was only a junior. But coming back for his senior campaign, I think he's gonna have a great senior season out there.
Yeah, Eli is definitely, one of my favorite kids. Comes from a good family, does it the right way. I expect a lot out of him too. Who we got number 1?
Number 1, this kid been in high school feel like for 10 years. Cedric Hawkins out of Cocoa. Last year he had 117 tackles, 4 interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries, 1 forced fumble. He was a leader on a team that lost in the state championship. But the guy's been playing varsity since the 8th grade. So this is actually his 5th year of high school football, and it feels like it.
Yeah, man. First of all, said is hot garbage. He's really not that good. He's lucky that he even made the list. Out of all the kids, I think he's overrated. Nah, but those people that don't know, said is one of my kids. Good kid. Always had a smile on his face every time I've seen him. You know, Good humble kid, man. I really do love him, care about him. He's still trash, but I do love and care about him. But he's been in school for a long, long time. He really has. Like like said, has been in school for a long, long time. At least, like he's been playing varsity for at least 6 years because of the rules of
Five,
yeah.
five,
It's seventh grade, seventh,
five.
eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th.
I just saw his Twitter yesterday. He's like year 5,
No,
and
this year
then
6 for him, man. He played the 7th grade. I'm telling you, he played the 7th grade. I know for fact he played the 7th grade. I know for fact he played the 7th grade. But big shout out to him, man. Congratulations, said
good kid too.
EP talking about. I got to tell my stat guy to stop being so honest with the tackles. You right, because I'm
If
telling
they
you,
touch him, give him a
yeah,
piece of that
yeah.
tackle.
Yeah,
EP.
144 is hey man from a D tackle spot. I like y'all about to make me go watch the whole games. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
I,
gonna have to count him
yeah,
myself.
yeah, right, right. Hey man, we got to get them stats up. But and then Pine Hills, my boy Age, I hate calling him Pine Hills. I wish he just have his real name. But he said the people lying about their tackles. He's right. But so all right, so now let's get on to it.
Hey,
Let's
they,
get to
hey,
what the people
they,
want.
hey, they max prep line too, boy.
That's what I'm saying. Let's get to what the people want. We down.
All right,
We at the DBs. Let's talk
we got the
about it.
DBs, man. DBs number 4 was Jakeem Jackson out of Osceola. I believe Ja came in the last 3 or 4
We
games.
might have to go. We might have to go 5 on corners though. We might
We
have
go
to,
five. We go five. All right, we
yeah,
go five.
because
Number five.
let's say this, realistically speaking, all these guys are Power Five guys. So
Oh, the whole
therefore,
list.
yeah, so therefore, it's going to be a lot of argument. But let's start with five and go on up.
We go five. That's Zach Taylor, Toby, excuse me, Zachariah Toby out of Ocoee.
Six
Long
two, six
rangy,
three. Yeah,
6'2", 6'3" corner, long rangy. Originally committed to North Carolina, but he decommitted. I believe he committed to
Illinois.
Illinois.
He committed to Illinois.
Illinois. So him and his teammate Calvin both committed to Illinois. So Toby, I like Toby. Long 6'2" corner. He should have a pretty good productive season for Corey this year.
Yeah, I like Toby at corner. I really think he's probably going to transition to safety
Say it
when
again.
it's all said and done,
Right.
and he's going to do really well at it because I can assure you, out of all these guys we finna name in corner, he's the only one I know that not that he coming to bang. Like, he really is. So I think that's his natural position. I know it because hell, he was a linebacker in the sixth, seventh, eighth grade, and he liked to bang. So yeah, so I think that he's definitely going to make that transition. Number four, you said earlier we got Jakeem Jackson, Josh, who we call him.
Ja, Mr. Gator, represent Osceola. XEP, I believe he played corner the last 4 to 5 games, maybe. Ended up having 3 interceptions. I mean, scouts love him. He the potential that he possesses at that position is pretty good. So Ja comes in at number 4.
Okay, Ja is definitely one of my favorite. Real humble kid, real good kid. Comes from another kid from a good family. One thing I will say uh, that is always tremendous, and we don't give enough credit because you see the ignorant parents that act the fool. But there's a lot of these kids that have great parents that do a great job of raising them. Ja is definitely one of those kids. His mom and dad have not only raised him, they've raised other brothers and sisters. So a big shout out to them. Uh, yeah, Ja, his upside is probably out of everybody on the list, his upside is higher than everybody. So Jai, I told him to his face, and I'll say it here. He has to perform well these first four games to make sure that he makes a believe out of everybody, and he has to perform well these first four games so that that people know that he's really that guy. Because he doesn't have a lot of film. Everything's potential upside, but boy, if he does produce, he has like we may be looking back at him talking about, hey, he was the top dog. But let's go number three.
And Ja, he also is another long rangey corner.
Yeah,
Um,
no, he long, like he definitely long,
long,
and he
long.
and he and he can run. So
And his
that
ball skills at receiver, last year he had over 500 yards receiving, 6 or 7 touchdowns. So his ball skills at receiver is going
help
to
him out.
benefit him at DB.
It help him out a lot. So
Correct.
it help him
Now,
out a lot. Yeah, he's a good kid. We for certain.
right.
Number three, who we got?
Number 3, personally, I try to stay away from saying my favorite and this and that, but this kid, he truly is my favorite at corner. Um, he should have really been the number one corner. If we talking about straight up lockdown man to man corner in Central Florida, Bo Masco is the best lockdown corner in this area. I've
Hold on.
personally seen it for 2 years on the 7-on-7 circuit. Um, I think that Bo's is the number one corner.
Hold on, man. Now look, for the record.
But Bo's coming in he's at the 3 spot.
Yeah, for the
Bo
record,
was
he
first
said,
team. He was first team. Let me tell him this. He was first team All State, 8 interceptions. He ran back 3 pick 6s. Um, yeah, we got Bo at the number 3 spot.
well, that's what I say. That's why it's a committee because shit, Bo would be number one on my spot. That's why I don't want nobody to say. I'm telling y'all the record. He would be number one on my spot, and it wouldn't be. It really wouldn't be close. I mean, Bo is the one guy that can do. He's just short. If Bo was 6'1", and then we
So
no
that'd be
one would be
easy.
nobody would be saying, and that's one of the things about recruiting. Like when you look at the eye test, you know Bo passed. He doesn't pass the eye test, but when you look at the film and you watch the game, he passes that all day. So that's how like just so that uh, I'm telling you now, he was my number one. You just heard AJ say it was his number one. So please don't come complain to us about, because that's why we have a committee. Everybody gets a vote, and hey, you give it to them how, at the end of the day, we're gonna support the votes. But that's why we have a committee because, hey, Bo is like that, you
Because
know.
I mean,
Uh,
within the rankings, it's a lot of things. I mean, the eye test isn't the only test. So size is a metric, speed is a metric, film is a metric. Um, but yeah,
And see,
we
but
we
yeah, see,
we
Bo, like
love
when you start,
Bodo.
yeah, because when you start talking size, speed, man, maybe I'm old school.
Bo
I
got the
don't need
speed
my,
now. He got
I
the
don't right.
speed.
I don't need a corner to be 6'1", 6'2". I need his ass to be able to cover. And
Somebody got
that's what.
somebody got to stick them slots, and all I
Yeah,
know is
he's about the only one. I
he
like
got
that.
it.
I know. I'm guaranteed that he's good. So no, all right. Number two. Well, I take it back. Here's another one that can stick some slots. Number two. Go ahead.
Number two, Braden Marshall out of Lake Mary. I
Hell
think
yeah.
he is probably. I think he's a technician. I think he's the most. He's. I like Braden. He's a very physical corner. He's
No doubt.
big. Um,
When you say big, we talking thickness, like
thickness. Yeah,
because
right, right, right. He's
because
not
him and
six
Bo
two.
really him and Bo really the same height.
Right.
So
He probably an inch or so taller than Bo, but he's a little thicker.
I seen them both in person. They're the same height, but he's definitely thicker.
Right. He's thicker. And I mean, I like him.
Well, I
He
love him.
is
I love him. He's another kid that played basketball. Uh, you know, shout out to Drico who trained him.
Drico. Yep.
Drico did a really good job with him. Drico
Where's he
definitely
committed at again?
UCF.
Another
So
hometown
another
hero.
he's gonna stay home. He's a kid that has basketball techniques, and so for all you parents out there who have that, because his freshman year, I think he averaged 16, 17 points a game in basketball as a freshman. He didn't really do much on varsity his freshman or sophomore year. He did more in basketball than he did in football. But he definitely, that's another kid that if you can hit 15, 16 points a game in hoops, you definitely an athlete. You know,
Yeah.
and he did that as a baby. So real good kid. Once again, another kid comes from a great family. Shout out to his dad and his mom Vanessa, Anthony. Anthony's big shout out to Anthony because I can personally say that I've known Anthony to put up his own money for kids over there in Lake Mary. A lot of guys, talk about helping kids and everything. I've seen him do it. So yeah, I think Braden is definitely, like, and another thing I can say, this is another group that, realistically speaking, from 1 to 5, you could make an argument for all of them.
Correct.
You really could. And that's kind of why, sometimes these rankings, like you just heard us say who our guys were, well, you got four other guys that voted. So, it is, you add up the numbers, hey, top number wins. So, with that being said, number one, he got all the numbers. Because
Number
that means
one,
number
Jordan
one,
Castile, out
yeah.
of West Orange, committed to University of Florida.
And
Um,
honestly, he's the only one I could see. Like, if somebody really, really wanted to make an argument against Bo, I could see that. Because I
right.
saw Jordan Castile lock down a kid that's going to
We'll
be
talk
in.
about it. We'll talk
Well, not,
about it.
and I'm talking about Jordan. I don't want to talk about the kid,
Right,
but this
right, right.
kid, but Jordan locked him down. I'm talking about locked him down. I'm talking about
How
no
many catches
catches,
did How many catches the kid have?
none on 12 targets. I'm talking about to the point where hell he was dropping balls because Jordan. Tech. I didn't see Jordan have a bad game all year last year.
Jordan
Like he
Jordan
could,
has not given up a receiving touchdown since his freshman year. So it's been
yeah.
2 years.
Right. So I could easily say that he's a kid that in his defense he could easily be number one too. But
Yeah,
those, like,
I
to me,
personally,
to me they were my arguments. I gave only reason I gave it to, like, I tell people from that was my 1 2. Bo was number one. He was number two. Bo was first team All State.
get
John,
to him.
that's why I was like, hey. And then also Bo's a little gives you a little bit more flexibility. That Bo can play all the corner spots.
Right.
Whereas, but if there's an outside kid, he gonna have a hell of a day against Jordan Castell because Jordan ain't giving up nothing. So I seen it. I seen Jordan, go to work with Gibby in practice. So I'm a big Jordan Castile fan. And what I admire about him more than anything is the kid, no, he's not gonna move to safety. That's why I came here. I just saw he's not. The reason why that
Nah,
kid knew that everybody wanted him to play safety, he was 215 pounds. That
and
boy
he's
is
on
like
12.
190 right now.
He lost
I
weight.
admire him for that because that tells me that he understood the assignment. He knew that, hey, I want to play this position. Let me drop this weight. I need need him to help me out because I need to drop 25 pounds. So whatever, so that when you look at stuff like that from a little kid, that he has the discipline, the self awareness to do that himself, that lets you know he's going to be special. He wants to
Yep,
play corner, so I'm very proud of him of that. And like I said, even though he wasn't my number one, I couldn't make an argument because I could have went either way. That's the one. That's the one I really battle with. So big shout out to him for that.
yep. Then let's go ahead. Move on to running backs.
RBs, let's go. We number one. We can just go there and then everybody else. But that we I'm just, who's number three? We got number three.
Disrespect.
Yeah, who's
Number
number three?
three, O'Neal, Senatus out of Osceola. He did all his work though, EP at Celebration, but he's
Yeah, man.
transferred
Yeah,
over to Osceola.
yeah. Osceola, then got him a good one. EP
Good one.
probably had Derek Mama make that boy some Haitian food.
Hey,
What
so
happened?
look, man, I'm like, man, let me check this kid out, man. The
I
kid had
saw him
eight over
live.
1,800 yards rushing last year.
I saw him
You turn
live.
on the film and it's like electric, right?
Yeah, I saw him live.
But
Yeah,
then he got film at DB at safety. He coming, he hitting. He
yeah.
like the kid
He's
is an
physical.
athlete.
Like he's a kid that definitely an athlete. He's a football player. I don't know,
He's a football player.
like he's definitely a football player. It's gonna be interesting to see
Because
what he
honestly,
does.
I'll be honest, I was concerned when I was hearing that he might transfer. I was like, ooh, Osceola, ooh, that's gritty over there, and Celebration is not known to be as
Right.
gritty as Osceola. So I was concerned. After I turned on this film and really watched him, the young man fits in.
Yeah, he fits in, but they got another running back over there that I think is going to be special. So it's going to be interesting to see how guys like EP work it out. Now EP finna be real silent. He was on it chopping it up,
He ain't got
whatever.
nothing to say now.
Yeah, but EP finna yeah. By the way, Pine Hills, yeah, that was him. O'Neal did go to Robbinswood, but yeah, I expect him to do a good job over at
They
Osceola.
already got chicks, so I'm
Yeah,
like,
like I said, that's the young man. I didn't want to, I'm trying not to give no young guys props on Elite
get
100
a
today,
youngin, hey,
but
give him his credit.
yeah,
Go ahead,
but
get it to him.
yeah, but somebody I don't know who Facebook. They say he played linebacker, and they said he was smacked. Yeah,
He
I'm telling you,
smacks. I'm trying to tell you,
yeah,
he'll
I
hit
agree.
you.
I agree.
They,
So yeah,
they,
we'll see.
they
We'll see
got it.
what.
EP got 2,500 to 3,000 yards in his backfield right now.
Well, the bottom line is if EP don't win state, like I said about Granado last year, and I'm so tired of these
Is
Orlando
state a
having these.
bust for
Yeah,
Osceola? We ain't
period.
even got the team rankings yet,
But I'm
bro.
just saying, it's state of bus. If they don't win it, then
Damn.
EP, then the E. But we'll get to we
All right,
man.
let's go to number
Here,
two.
oh
'Cause
man,
I
see
want
what
to
I'm saying.
hear
See,
this.
boy, look at this man. Now he's a damn head coach. I didn't know EP and Dwight them for years. This the head coach as I get. Man, we just trying to get better. Boy, boy, you can, you want, yeah, yeah, boy, hey man, I'm gonna talk to EP later on. I ain't gonna say that. Let's move
Hey,
on, man.
that's funny, man.
Who
Let's keep going on. Number two running back, Keandre Jones. Last year at Apopka, he had over 1,200 yards rushing. He's gonna bring that speed and shiftiness to Okoye, and I think it's gonna benefit Okoye tremendously.
Yeah.
So we got Keandre Jones, small in stature. Keandre by 5'6", 5'7". But man, that boy hard to tackle.
Oh Lord, this EP about to make me hang up on my own damn show. They talk about one game at a time. Boy, I'm telling you, boy, but hey, shout out to Keandre, man. Keandre's a good kid. I'ma say this, and I'ma say it for everybody here. He's at a Coe. I'm telling you, like the pop coach all mad at me because my son's in the Coe, and he's like, I had nothing to do with that boy being in the Coe. So I don't want to hear that shit. EP, you can laugh because you know the story. I ain't got nothing to do with it. But anyway, but I
You
do
got nothing to
support
do. Your
nothing.
name Bennett. Your
My
name
name
Bennett.
Bennett. I ain't got nothing to do with people that don't know me. If you don't know me, I'm more a Popka APK than anything. Like, believe it or not.
Mhm.
You
Nah,
know,
yeah, nah, I give
like
you
people
that.
who know me know, like my oldest son went to a Poplar. The only reason my youngest son didn't go to Poplar, they can't throw the ball. So let's don't even like it's just what it is. So let's just cut it out. You know, it's what it is. But Keandre is definitely a good back, good kid.
Good kid.
And for the record, I was like, man, hey, they all right, but I expect him to have a great season. He's definitely, shiftiness. I don't know, if there's anybody more shifty. Uh, oh look at no, here go Chad Basco. Now chiming in. We just trying to get a first down. Boy, I'm telling you, but
What? Get
these
out of
cats here,
here.
these cats here in Osceola, man.
They
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Well,
So
they
anyway,
got two walking first downs in the
yeah,
backfield
yeah.
right now.
Yeah, so Pius talking about so where the Jones High players. He must have been late because we talked about them early, early, early,
Uh,
early. But at
Malik
running
was
back,
the number
by the
one
by the
guy.
way, by the way, Pioneers, this is all seniors. So maybe he's confused because Jones has a lot of nice underclassmen, by the way.
Got
All
a
right.
lot of nice juniors.
Yeah, and all these seniors, we pretty much we named them and we got a few more to come.
Yeah,
But
correct.
but uh Pioneer said that Coy better win, and Eric Panella said that Coy's loaded. All right, so then
Loaded.
we gonna go with the number one guy. I see,
Number one
somebody.
guy. He's. I mean, honestly, he everybody favorite. I mean, Sid Baxter. You look at CJ 6. I say 6'1", 210,
Six
215.
two, 6'2", legit six
We'll
two.
say
Maybe
6'2".
honestly, CJ might be 6'3" now. He's
I
growing.
heard people say
Yeah,
that too.
tell you, CJ might be 6'3", man.
All I know is he big as hell
Hmm.
and he got
He can
some
run. He got
good
juice.
ass feet. When I'm talking about he he make you miss in the hole.
Well,
And that's
before you start talking, for those who don't know, AJ rushed for 2,000, and AJ played at Boston College as a freshman with Matt Ryan. Played and ran for over 100 some yards against weight. So you talking from not only just our experience, but just from a running back perspective.
right. And from a running back perspective, 6'2", 215, with the feet that he has and the ability to break tackles. If you go turn on this highlight film, he don't get tackled for the first 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, no, he's a problem.
Like
He's a problem.
literally,
I,
every run
I would,
touchdown. The
but I
first
do
three
want to
minutes is all touchdowns.
I do want to say this about CJ. Uh, This one lets you know the DB coaches are hilarious because Andrew Anderson was trying
Yes,
to sell me that he was the number one safety in the country.
as a sophomore, I
He should
remember that.
move over from the position. He has to be no matter who the guy is.
Hey, I
If
got
he
to call Anderson on that one, but
yeah, yeah.
I forgot
I
about
know,
that.
man. I'm telling you. So it is what it is. They talk about EP say using his problem damn near unstoppable. One thing too that people got to realize, CJ is my guy. I'm biased to CJ, so it don't matter. But I do want to give a shout out to his O line coach. Jameson is a hell of an O line coach.
Great
People
O
slip
line
on him.
coach.
They slip on him. He's a good O line coach. But
And,
CJ is a problem.
and we caught a lot of slack for Edgewater O line not being ranked in the top 10. Um, I mean, it is what it
Oh
is.
no, no, no. It's no. Don't get it twisted. No,
It's
you
it's
no.
nothing against them. It's just
Let's make sure everybody understand this. Jameson over there making water out of wine. See, to me, that's when you're a hell of a coach. When you know what? Give me C.J. Baxter. Every coach in Central Florida, if they got C.J. Baxter, their team gonna be better. But what Jameson does, and he's been consistent, no matter who's on that line over there at Edgewater, they block well all the time. And Duke is consistent. People trip on Duke. I like Coach Duke. Duke is a good man. He tries to help his kids and his players. So they got a good thing going on over there. I got to
yeah.
give credit.
Their line was just is somewhat undersized.
Oh, it's
If
definitely
I'm
on the
being
side.
100% honest, and
And they doing work. They
when you
doing
take
work.
in size into the picture, a lot of the guys on the list
Yeah,
six eight, six
they
seven, they
yeah,
giants,
and
and they
they
just
want a lot of the Edgewater guys. Unfortunately, they're not going to go play at the bigger schools, but they block like they do, and
they
that
block
and
they
that and
block very well.
they block every bit of Texas and CJ is one of my kids and we went around a lot of schools and I'm telling you, the colleges was like, who the hell is your O line coach? Talking about Miami, Texas A&M. They all talk about that man. I'm just being honest. And but the most important thing about CJ is that he, his birthday and my daughter's birthday the same day. And number two, he's just a really good kid.
Good kid, humble.
CJ's the only kid I know that I tell people this, and people think I'm bull crapping, but CJ's the only kid I know that he ain't worried about NIL. He ain't worried about none of, and he's the one kid that's really trying to help his friends get scholarships, his
For
teammates.
real.
You know, I could tell a story about a kid last year that he was calling coaches trying to help him get a scholarship, and I knew then that he was special. So he's just he's very positive. It's something about CJ. CJ has helped me as a grown man. One day
For
I was
real.
down and out, and he said something to me to lift me up. So like I'm very like he definitely is one of my favorite
Man,
kids.
I
No
tell a
question.
quick story real quick. I remember you and Assad and CJ had just came from a visit. Where was it? Y'all got back late, and it
Yeah,
was a
that was
camp the next day.
yeah. We was coming back from Ohio State,
Ohio State.
and oh my God, here my sister just said she raised him well. Like and
He
Cedric
did. So look, I tell the
Cedric
story real
dad
quick.
said he's a butthole.
CJ, I think y'all got in like three,
4 in the
four, five
morning.
in the morning.
4 in the morning.
4 in the morning. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna name the camp, but a brand had a camp the next day, and CJ could have easily said, "Nah, I ain't going." But CJ used his leverage to get some of his teammates into the camp. So when you see stuff like that, you just like, bruh, little bro, he's so selfless.
Yeah,
He's
he's selfish.
humble. He's so
The most selfish
selfless,
kid
and
I
it's
know.
crazy. Yep.
And yes, Latoya, you did raise him well because I'm hungry and I need a meal. And said, don't be calling CJ a butthole. What's wrong with you? That's but the Koi at the Koi Edgewater game, you might want to be there. It's going to be something special that's going to be going on. I can't wait. But anyway, that's
That'll
another
be a good
story.
one.
But CJ, they got once again, CJ committed to the University of Texas. Shout out
Uh-huh.
to him for all my people in Texas. Y'all going to be on the lookout for him. All right, so who we got next?
You want to go quarterbacks or receivers?
Save receivers for last, like we did DBs for last. Let's save for
All
last.
right, let's go quarterbacks. Quarterbacks. At number three, we got young man Hunter Turner.
Hold on one
Um,
second. Hold on one second. Miss Baxter is saying stop telling people she can cook. She must ain't watched the whole show. One thing about AG, this is why I can't lose no weight because if a person can cook, I'm gonna eat. Another person that can cook is CJ back. That's why he's six. And you know what? I'm starting to realize the more your mama can cook, the bigger you gonna be. It's just what it is. Hey, Peyton mama can cook. So like I say, real talk. So if your mama can cook, you gonna get so you ladies out there, hey, if you want big sons, learn how to cook.
learn
That's
how to
a
cook.
more story. But go ahead.
You got to learn early though,
Yeah,
cause
you
them
gotta learn
boys
early.
been big.
That's what I'm trying to tell you before they get here. But go ahead.
All right, so going to quarterbacks, we got Hunter Turner out of Melbourne. Young man threw for about
Mhm.
2,600 yards, 25 touchdowns. Also added 7 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a young man who accounted for 32 touchdowns. Melbourne had a very productive year last year, and he had a lot to do with it.
Man, this dude EP trying to start trouble, but that's another story. EP say Rolson gonna get you, AG. Man, can't get. Hey, stop EP before you get me started. You know it
Stop,
don't take
man.
much. But go ahead, man.
But yeah, so then we got Hunter coming in at number three. At number two, um, who we got at number two? Number two, we got Blake Boda. Boda man.
oh yeah,
He's a lefty, quick release, accurate. He also transferred as well. Um, Transferred from Seabreeze to
right.
Coco, and he helps the Coco plug in that loss from Mr. Weiner at
Hey,
quarterback.
and you know what's crazy? Didn't the ex coach at
Yeah.
Coco? It was it's Seabreeze, wasn't he?
Who?
The coach that was at Coco 3 years ago. Ain't he the coach at Seabreeze now?
Coach at Seabreeze is
I
his
just thought
buddy.
that was strange,
He's a
but go
brother.
ahead. Go ahead. Don't worry about it. But so yeah, Blake. For those, yeah, Blake definitely had a decent season. Um, I just thought it was strange. I could have sworn that coach went to Seabreeze from Coco, and then he went. Then so I just maybe he helped his boy out. I don't know. All right, so who we got at number? That's number two. Blake is definitely a
Pat
good kid.
Brown. That's a Pat at Seabreeze.
Nah, that's not him then. But
Yeah.
yeah, so who we got number one?
Number one. Bo Key's own, Luke Rucker, um, 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Lost in the semifinals to Apopka last year.
Yeah.
Um,
Where did
he
Wilkinson go, EP? Wilkinson, I know transferred of somewhere up there near
in
Seabreeze. Like
Georgia.
Wilkinson didn't go to Georgia. I thought he went up somewhere in Florida,
I
but I
thought
could
he
be
I
wrong.
thought he was at he's at New Smyrna. He was
Yeah,
at
New
New
Smyrna.
Smyrna
Yeah,
Beach.
that's what I
Yeah,
thought. I
New
knew he was
Smyrna.
some. Yeah, yeah, but back to Luke. Luke is definitely one of my favorite players as well.
Good kid.
Great kid, great kid. Comes from a great family. I think he's definitely if there was an underrated team, he would be on that team. I think that there's going to be a lot of schools wishing they had took Luke Rucker.
For real.
What I admire about Luke is you know, he went to FAU and he got out the mud. He
Yeah,
went there.
he
They
earned it.
had all the quarterbacks come. He came and he won it. So that's I love that kind of stuff. Like I told
Yeah,
him, be a dog at all times, and he definitely is very special with throwing that rock. So he don't have he's not looking behind his shoulder this year. He's gonna be the guy. So I expect him to have a monster season. We're talking about
great
monster.
season.
So,
Yeah.
I definitely expect that. So, big shout out to him. So, what else we got? Did we
We
talk
got
about
receivers.
did
Last
we
but
went
not
O
least, we got
line?
receivers.
Okay,
We did all the
receivers.
O line.
We
Remember,
we're a little late today, but we gonna get it going.
we're gonna
All
keep
right,
rolling.
all right. Number receivers. Where we going? We
Receivers
start with
get so
fives.
good, so I gotta stretch this out a little bit. I'm gonna go
All right.
five. Number five, I'm gonna go with Mr. Eddie Combs out of Rockledge. Um, he's 1,000 yard receiver, 15 touchdowns. He's not committed yet, but he has several Power Five offers. He was at Satellite last year, so he transfers over to Rockledge, and that's a tremendous help for that program. When you
Yeah.
get a guy of his caliber to transfer in, that's a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah. Nah. Eddie's a good kid. Another kid, once again, from a great family. Like I said, we always, blast the all these parents when you see stupid stuff like what happened in Texas, or you see the kids that's shooting the finger, after a football game. But some of these people got some really good parents. Uh, so that's a good thing. So I'm very shout out to him and his parents. Eddie definitely is a good kid. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. He should help them to be a little bit better. Shout out to I didn't say it, but said Baxter also is another kid that has some great parents. He really
Yep,
does. Like those are the things that people don't they take for granted. Make sure that I try to always tell people, the important things that you raise your kid to be a good person. All the other stuff will come. All right, so that's Eddie's number five. Who you got at number four?
Number four, we got Tyree Patterson TP out of Eustis, 1,000 yard receiver. Um, honestly, he's the best receiver in Lake County. Um, so he can hang his hat on that. He's a Florida commit. Very smooth, very smooth route runner.
I
Pretty
worry
solid.
about TP. Deep,
I
deep.
like TP.
He's my dude, but I worry this year because
Oh yeah,
he,
he ain't
he
got
just
blame.
he don't have nothing, and
He ain't got blame.
I don't really see I really don't see a lot of Blaine. People don't understand how good Blaine really was.
Blame was
So,
good.
and then I kind of wanted I heard their scrimmage wasn't great. Like TP didn't have a catch. There's no way in the hell TP should not have a catch. So I'm a little worried about him. No,
Frank
he's
can
a kid.
figure it out though.
Now Frank's a great coach, but I
Frank
just
can
think
figure it out.
like Frank is the epitome of what I tell people. At some point you got to have the talent. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like like
You can
that
have
people.
you
Yeah,
can know the X's and O's,
right,
but you better have some
right,
Jimmys too.
right. Frank, if you take Frank and move him to where some of these other schools are, he gonna win too. So but so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with TP. I definitely support him and I want him to do well.
Right.
Because he's a great kid. That's another one come from another. I'm not y'all think I'm like he has good parents as well. So TP is number four. Uh, before we get it further, just so people know, I have nothing to do with the wide receiver rankings because my son is a wide receiver, so I just stayed out of it.
Right.
Because also there's a couple of kids further down the list that I love, and when we finish, I'm gonna definitely speak them up because I think they should have been higher as well. Uh, Go ahead. Who's number three?
Number three, we got Asad Wasim out of Ocoee. He transferred from West Orange last year. Um, he had a solid season last year, given taking everything into perspective. His sophomore season, I think
AJ,
he had what? Hello?
AJ, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. You
AJ,
hear me?
can you hear me? Oh
I hear
yeah.
you.
Let's see. Can you hear me, AJ?
Yeah, I can hear
All right,
you.
there we go. Go ahead. What'd you say now? We
So
Saab was number three.
last year, Asad Wasim, number three, transferred from West Orange to Ocoee. That goes back to EP's point. Ocoee is absolutely loaded this year. Um, I mean, when I talk about if a corner, the number one corner, if you could stick when I say Bo, so now I kind of flip it on the other end. When it's a receiver, in this area, I've seen for the last 3 or 4 years, the kid he's damn near impossible to guard one on one. So in the right offense, in the right scheme of things, he could have a monstrous senior season. He's never been featured. Um, when he was young at Wakaiva, that was a it was a good situation, but the team wasn't. I don't. We'll just skip on to West Orange. So then West Orange, he played behind a very talented receiver, Gibbs Gibby, who's committed to Oklahoma. Assad was second in every category, receiving, yards, touchdowns behind Gibby. But the offense, the passing, it just wasn't there. It wasn't a 2,500, 3,000 yard passing offense. So everyone numbers took a hit last year. But when we talk about skill, out of the top four, Assad will be the one who the size is a factor. But when it comes out to straight balling and dog, Assad's my guy. And just like you said, AG's out of this. And it's to show proof to everyone that we have a committee. Out of every athlete on this list, I have a more personal relationship with Assad. If that was the case, Assad would be number one. I don't care nothing about nothing. When it's your guy, you put him number one, right? So the committee voted him number three. He's a great player, and I can't wait to see what he does this year, starting versus Paco.
I just want to see the. Well, actually, starting tomorrow. They
Well,
got to go
tomorrow,
down to
yeah. Who y'all
Miami.
got? Who will Corey got tomorrow?
Coral Springs. Pine Hills, man, I don't want to say nothing about Assad. He talking about it's my show. Okay, to talk about your kid. Uh, I don't want to say much. I do know that he's very talented. We're gonna make sure that he cleans up his room. That's like we can get that shit together. Then we but
Come on,
uh,
man.
but
Quit playing
but
my dog,
but
man. Come
other than
on,
that, man,
man.
he's really talented. And I will say this. This is what I will say. I'm pretty sure if you ask the DBs who the top wide receiver is, you might get some thing. He would definitely get some votes. You know, he's worked hard this thing. That's why kind of last year at West Orange kind of hurt because I just really feel they had the talent enough to win state. You beating people 49-0. You ought to be able to showcase kids. I mean, that's just me. Like to me, when I see coaches, you winning 49-0, everybody should get some film you know. But it didn't happen that way because we had other issues at the school. But I'm a firm believer in God. God don't make no mistakes. That's just because I can honestly say, being around Coach Shep, I can honestly say one thing I admire about him is that he's made my son a better man, and that's really what's important. Football will take care of itself. You know, I'm not really big on even though we doing rankings and all that. I could care less. At the end of the day, I want all these kids to grind, do what they're supposed to do, because it don't matter where you rank. You know,
Right.
it really doesn't. It doesn't matter where you rank. It's about you going out there eating, and so that's what. Let's look at this Ryan the fish that don't praise his pond, don't eat. He's put the time, so give him his due diligence. I really don't like to be honest. I don't have to say nothing about his side because if you come out and you watch, you
They
know.
know.
Yeah,
The,
like if
the
you
kid,
come out and
the
you
kid,
watch, you know. Like I'm
the
saying,
kids in
like
the area
right,
know. The
it's
kids
what
in
it
the area
is.
know. They know.
The
Like
coaches
they
know.
know.
Everybody,
They
the coaches
know.
know. Yeah. So
Yeah,
we
shit.
we
It
gonna
ain't no
see.
secret.
I bless. I asked for. Believe it or not. every night I pray for all the kids. I don't want none of the kids to get injured. I hope and pray that all the kids get, what God has for them. So, Assad is an animal. And
Yeah,
the other thing, about Assad now, is, he's, what, 5'11" and a half, you know, he's about 180. He's looking good. His body's looking great. Shout out to, all his trainers that helped him, like AJ and those boys. So hey, we appreciate it. So hey,
straight
so
up.
number two, because
Number
this number two
two.
is one of my favorite guys.
So this kid, after the catch, do the man, Derek Rogers
Oh, no
out of
doubt.
Jones. When
Another
he
one of my
once
favorite kids.
when he catch the ball,
He's the
it's
best.
just starting for the DB. Like your
Yeah,
work just started
yeah.
because he is slippery.
Oh
He
no,
got
he's
that
he got that old Peter Ward. Like
he got that Peter Ward deadbed.
you can't. Yeah,
Oh man,
he's a problem.
problem.
Yeah, he's a problem. I mean, like, to be totally honest, Duda man is another good kid, good humble kid.
Good kid.
You know,
He
what I
don't
admire.
he don't come from the perfect situation.
Mm,
And one of the reasons why I love Duda is because he realized, okay, I need to do this if I want my life to go a certain direction. And he
mhm,
is taking those steps to do it. He a good kid off the
great
field.
kid.
He makes plays on the field. Um,
Can't do nothing but
and
love
he
him.
just
I mean, like,
loves
he's easy to
man.
love. I mean,
Good ass kid.
he's the one kid. I got a lot of kids on the program, that we've dealt with, and he's one of the kids. When I say uh, he reminds me a lot of Tay Williams.
He do.
Like, whereas those guys, they really were probably the most, honorable and humble kids, and honest kids. One thing I do like about, all these kids, and this is what I told somebody else, it be the parents and the coaches that be tripping. These kids are all friends.
Yeah, they
Seriously.
but
Like, all these kids, they support each other. They
in
want
group
everybody to do
chat,
well, right? They don't, they don't have an ego. They just want everybody to do well. So, we as parents can learn from the kids. And to be honest, like I said, these ain't my rankings, because my rankings would be a little different if it was me. But let's go ahead on with who's number
Duda
one.
committed to
Maryland.
Maryland.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Good
he
coach, good
bet.
coach. Coach will love him. He'll do good by him, so that's a good thing. Who we got at number one?
Number one is Aiden Mizell out of Boone. I mean, Aiden he had 18 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards receiving. Um, I personally, I think that he has something that no one on the list has, and that's the type of speed that he
A
has.
jetpack. He got a jetpack. That's really, he got decent size, but he got a jetpack. So,
Decent.
no, I'm talking about decent size because he's not that thick.
He's like
He has
six two,
yeah,
six
no, I'm
three,
saying, but he's
bro.
not thick, coach. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
but
yeah, I'm talking about,
college
like,
will put
when,
a little
yeah,
thickness
but
on.
not necessarily. But when we say,
Mm,
like, when I say size, like Jaden Carter, he had size.
I know. Tell me a receiver that has size.
That we know in this group, not
Hardy. Okay, Hardy.
yeah, in this group, like,
No, I'm saying in the future, who another receiver you think like got size? What you
right
saying?
now, like, your boy from well, not 2022, not 2023, but your boy from Seminole, he got great size. uh,
Gabe?
Mikey, little
Oh,
Mikey.
Mike.
Well, no,
Mike.
Gabe definitely had great size in high school. Like,
Right,
Gabe had no offers going into his senior year. Gabe had no offers. Gabe had nothing he commit to, and then he tore it up his senior year. But Gabe had great size coming out of high school.
right.
Uh, Gibby had good size.
Good size.
Like, your boy Vic Jones had good size coming, like,
West Orange.
yeah,
The
yeah,
one that
good
went to
size.
Duke.
Oh yeah, you talking about Daryl.
Daryl.
Daryl had great size.
Daryl had great size.
Yeah, right. Both
He
his
don't got
parents,
that right, so he
right.
not thick
Both his
like that.
parents have he got track speed. It's going to be
He got
interesting
track
because
speed.
because
I
we
do.
talked about that.
I will say that I think out of the top, 4 or 5, even though Aiden is at number one, um, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that he's the best pure wide receiver out of the group, even though he is at the number
Yeah,
one spot. I don't think he's the best route runner, the best catcher. But
He
he
got the
is a
best speed,
point guard, too.
and he has the most
Yeah,
offers. So like it,
hands
so we
down.
because we did part of the and that was
National
me.
rate definitely plays a
We
factor.
part of me. I just said you got to give guys if they got national ranks,
Yeah,
but there's the eye test and there's the other tests and he can run. So they these guys kill me. Like somebody talking about Eddie got a pack. Eddie don't have that kind of pack.
Eddie don't got that
Yeah,
pack.
yeah. Like see,
And
like when you
you
yeah
go look
yeah
at the track times from last year.
yeah
Eddie was
yeah
running
Eddie
10
don't,
8s, 11 ones.
nah, Eddie don't have that kind of pack.
Aiden got a jet pack. Aiden was
Yeah.
running low 20 points. You
Yeah,
know what I
nah,
mean?
yeah.
Low 20
There's a
points.
difference. Like there's a different kind of pack, and Aiden has that pack, you know, and that's what everybody sees, because nowadays in college everybody wants the pack, even though think about it. Georgia had a kid that was really pack that played with us a long time ago. And they talking about look at the Jones game. If that's the case, then hell, Asad got a pack because he runs away from people on film. We talking about track times. That's what
I mean,
that's what
Aiden
they really
Blackson
judging
got
by, right?
track
We talking about
speed.
track speed. Like if that's the case, if we gonna just go by running by people, hell, look at the side game against Jones as a sophomore. So let's don't do that. We talking
Yeah,
about track
if I'm
speed.
if I'm not mistaken, Aiden Mama ran track in the SEC.
Correct.
Like he got that kind of track speed.
Right.
His
Like
mama
if
ran
put like this,
SEC.
put like
Like
this. This will put an end to all this. Can the kid not play football and run track at
he
SEC?
absolutely
And
can. He
and
can go to Florida.
if you got a kid on this list that on all these lists,
Ain't none.
if he can go do track at the school and they would pay for him to go to track, like I said, that's my point, partner. Track speed is different.
It's
It
different.
really is. Like so when dudes got track speed, that's a different kind of speed. Like that
And
really, really is.
he
Like
just
just
don't
the
got
different than
track
football.
speed. He got SEC track
Correct.
speed.
Now he got
Shit.
all American speed. Right.
Yes,
We
man.
talk like he has a potential. If he said decade, I don't want to do nothing but run track, he would still get a college degree because they're gonna pay for him to get track.
Correct.
So that's what we're talking about. But
So he's
it's gonna be
number
interesting.
one. But
And
now
I want to
it's
give
the
a shout
team
out
rankings
to
now, though.
I got to give a shout out to for me Jabari. That to me, there's no way that
Man.
like that's what I'm saying. Like I ain't make the list. Jabari got to be on the list.
Jabari
He
at
really,
6. And
yeah,
Jabari had over 1,000 yards. He had number 6.
yeah. Jabari is a great kid. Another kid that comes from a good family. Uh, you know, so I don't. I want to make sure that all these kids. I tell them all, like this is all just we rank and we do stuff like this, but ultimately it's up to you to go out and prove everybody right or prove everybody wrong. Hopefully, as a community we support all the kids. I want all the kids to get up. I don't want like now. I don't want. Only thing I do want factual. Y'all can put this down. If Assad plays defense for Okoye, and I want Said to run Assad over. I really do. I need that. I need that. I'm telling y'all so that everybody understands that. I need that. If Assad does that, I need that. Because I need Said to run him over because if not, I gotta hear this stuff. I hope and pray Assad doesn't tackle Said. Because if he does, I'm gonna have to hear it the rest of my life. And so I need Said to handle his business. So if y'all see it happen, it's gonna be a problem. All
Yeah,
right.
we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll
So
see.
so yeah. So let's talk. So all right. So but I just want to make sure Jabari knew because Jabari is one of my favorite kids. And there's other kids out there, man. But Jabari is a good, humble kid, quiet.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Jones too, because a lot of times, in our community, people always want to act like our kids are a certain way. Those kids are some of the best kids, most humble kids you'll ever meet.
Discipline.
I appreciate discipline. Shout out to Coach Will, for what he brings to the table. So now we going a little longer, but let's go ahead and get into these rankings real quick
Team
for
rank.
the team rankings. We got to get the team rankings.
All
That way
right.
we
Let's go from the bottom. We go honorable mention. We got Satellite. They had a 10-3 season last year. They lost to Merritt Island 21 nothing. Excuse me, in the third round of the playoffs. Satellite best player Eddie Combs transfers. I think they'll do well just because they also have other guys. I know they have another receiver, Parker Dawson. So they got other guys, but they're going to lose a lot at the same time. We got Winter Park 6-5. They lost to Seminole last year in the first
Man, we,
round.
we ain't got time to give all these honorable mentions today because
All right,
it's an
well
hour and a
then,
half. Yeah, let's go
honorable
to the
mentions
10.
is done. We'll go to
Yeah,
10. Number 10, we got Lake Mineola. The lone representative out of Lake County.
which is fair because
Which is fair.
to be honest, like who in Lake County, like who in Lake County do we see beating them? Seriously.
They the top dog in Lake County.
I hope South Lake give them a game because we, shout out to LaQuinn Taylor, one of
As
our
of
boys.
now, they
Yeah,
the top
right,
dog in Lake County. Quitting
right,
out there.
right. So we hope that they give them a game, and then we want to apologize. We didn't do the small schools, but we will give maybe a top five for them next week. So we
Right.
want to apologize. But go. So number 10, that was who we had at number 9.
Number 9, we got a Popka, 12-3 last year. They lost to
Lost,
Venice in the
lost a
state
lot.
championship, and that's the only reason we got respect for Popka. I think I was talking to Rat 2 or 3 days ago. I told Rat I graduated in Central Florida 2004. I don't never remember Popka being sorry. A Popka Little League ain't never been sorry. They've always been a good, solid program that's gonna win 8, 9, 10 games a year, and this year,
And
obviously, the question
who's
mark.
Facebook user? Who is because I need to figure out who this Facebook
Who
user
that?
is because whoever this guy is Facebook user, we need to
Tavares. No, I
yeah
mean
because
Tavares did go to the playoffs last year though.
no
But
but
Lyman ain't in. Lyman ain't in.
yeah
Lyman
Lyman's
ain't
Seminole
in Lake
County.
County.
That's why I was asking. But go ahead. I mean
But
whoever
Tavares solid.
write your name and whoever that is write your name in this side because I can't see it over here. But all right, so we got
So
that's number
9, that was a Popka. Number 8, we
APK.
got.
By the way, before we go, because we ain't gonna rush it. I just want to get out of that
All
because
right,
we
all
got
right.
to be due by 9 o'clock. But hey, look, man, APK they always, like you said, have produced good quality teams. My problem with
Always.
a lot of people with APK, and I say it to their face, offensively, a Popka is what a Popka is. You can't get mad at a Popka for doing what a Popka do. And they like to your point, they've been winning. Rolson gets a hard people go at Rolson neck, but damn, he's winning. So ultimately, that's what his job is. You know, that's the problem. Uh,
They win
ultimately,
games. That's for
right,
sure.
right.
They
So
win,
so
boy.
so I mean, come on, guys. Like we got to give that guy. Like you can't get mad at him for that. A Popka
Just listen
runs.
to this. In the last 4 years, Apopka lost in the state championship,
Final four,
lost in the
Final
final
four,
four, lost in the second round, lost in the
state champ.
state championship. They done
And
been
then
to the states in 2 years, 2 out of the
since
last four
since
years.
Nakai was there, they lost in state his
His
sophomore
freshman
year.
year,
Was that his freshman year? Yeah, that had to be his freshman year. No, that was his
yeah,
sophomore year. They lost in state his sophomore
sophomore year.
year,
His
and
freshman
then
year was Wakava, wasn't it?
yeah, no, his freshman year they lost. His sophomore year they lost. That then his the second year that's when they blew the lead when I was coming home. Well, no, that was
Right.
his freshman year. That was
That's
his
his
freshman
freshman
year.
year against
Right,
Columbus.
right. The
His
sophomore
sophomore
year
year,
they lost to Seminole.
they
Well,
lost to
no,
Seminole. No, that was his junior year.
yeah, Seminole was his junior.
Because Seminole won it all.
Who they lose that sophomore year? Columbus. No, it was Columbus. I don't know who it was, but they went to the playoffs and did decent.
They went to the playoffs and they
Right.
lost in the second round that
Yeah.
year.
And then they lost to uh, Seminole, and then
Seminole in the
last year they lost to Venice.
semifinals, and then
Last year
that
to
yeah,
Venice. So
that's
you can't get
ridiculous,
mad.
bro.
That's Coach Rob talking noise, man. Coach Rob, we ain't gonna need to listen to him. But anyway, Coach Rob, my boy, though, he just out here talking noise. But anyway, but so like parents, Popka's gonna be a good team. We have to, they lost a lot. The
They
one
lost
of
a
the things,
lot. Over
they
20 seniors.
yeah. So it's hard to, to rank them that
20.
high because they're gonna be coming in with a lot of young kids, like, something that's unheard of. They got freshmen and sophomores playing in the pocket. That's unheard of because the talent level was that high. So, and then once again, you got a kid like Keandre that left. So it's a little different. So
Yeah.
we gonna go on to number 8. Who's number 8?
Number 8, we got Rockledge. They finished the season 9-4 last year. But they played the majority of their season without their starting quarterback, Traven Green. He was hurt
And
as a sophomore. He'll be back. He's getting more pieces on the outside.
Eddie came, that's gonna help.
I like Rockledge.
I like the offensive lineman. You got good underclassmen on defense. T. Rome can coach very well, so
Yeah,
I think Rockledge could definitely have been higher.
they could have
In
been
my
correct.
opinion. But this
Yeah,
is once again the preseason. We're gonna be looking at games. Starting tomorrow.
yeah.
So don't go out there and lay no eggs. But go ahead. Yeah. All
So
right.
Rockledge coming in at number 8. And then at number 7, we have Mainland. Now Mainland finished 5-6. I was fortunate to see Mainland play 2 times last year. Mainland was a lot better than their record indicated.
What you need?
Um, but Mainland, honestly, Mainland best athlete last year, Jonathan Campbell, who is not a quarterback, and
Correct.
that's no knock to him. But due to the fact that he was their best athlete, he was a team player. He was the quarterback. He was not the he's not a quarterback. So the offense, the team, it just didn't mesh. This year they got a quarterback.
Oh no, no doubt, no doubt.
Demarcus Cressy transfer from Spruce Creek. He's legit. He's in our
Is he
top
is he
10.
starting?
Heck yeah, 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 yeah.
All right.
He's starting.
I know they got the sophomore kid that's gonna be a junior. I don't know
Man,
if he.
that boy led. I think Spruce Creek was 11-2 last year. Like,
All right,
yes,
all right,
yes,
all
he's
right.
that guy. So yeah, we got Mainland at number 6. I mean 7. Then at number 6 is Ocoee. Ocoee is another team. They were 6-4 last year, which is a winning record. They did not make the playoffs though. They're in the same district last year as Apopka. So that's always tough. They had to beat Apopka to make the playoffs, and they did not. Um,
Yes, as Shine left and went to Creek. Somebody good looking out. I appreciate it. Uh, yeah, but go ahead. The quarterback I was thinking about, he went to Creek. But go
right.
ahead.
So
You,
then
I
we
said
got
you talking about
Ocoee at
we talking about
6.
the Koei 6.
Ocoee
Okoye,
at 6. They loaded. They are loaded. I like Ocoee in this. I like Ocoee. I'm gonna just keep it at that. Number 5,
I
we
gotta
got
just. I by the way, I don't say much about Okoye since my son go there. I
right.
recuse myself. But go ahead. Let's go back up to number 5. Is who?
Number 5. And then my fault too. Let me give a shout out to Rockledge. They head coach Wayne Younger. Mainland's head coach is Travis Rowland. And then Ocoee is led by Aaron Shepard.
All right,
Um,
and so did we say who 10 and 9? We
yeah, we
coach
said
coach
Rosen
number
and
9 is
Banks.
coach.
We gave
We
them.
should give him a shout out though.
My
Give a
bad.
shout.
We got Apaka. Jeff Rosen, Coach Rosen is their leader, and then Mineola, we got Walter Banks.
That's
Um,
it. Yeah, all the one thing that's for certain, all those guys that you named have been around Central Florida for a while. I personally have respect for each and every last one of them. I think they do a good job. When I hear parents complain about those kind of guys, I have a problem because none of those guys that we name have a malicious bone in their body.
Man, this whole
So,
list.
so you know, so
If if your kid go to play for any of these coaches on this list, and there's a problem, you might have to look at
See this,
yourself.
yeah, this is Ellis. Is he throwing out his stuff? But we gonna take him off because Ellis don't know what he's talking about.
He
Go
got a
ahead.
community. I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
McIver on
yeah.
that shit.
You
Well,
know,
anyway, number 5 we got Edgewater. Edgewater was 10-2 last year. Um, they won a lot of games that I didn't think they would win. Um,
before we get started, Okoye got a lot of transfers. They got three. Just so
3
that
good
everybody,
ass
yeah,
transfers.
they got three. So let's go. But go ahead.
But Edgewater at number 5, 10-2, head coach Cameron Duke. Last year they lost to Lake Gibson in the second round of the playoffs. But Edgewater's a good ball club, man. They win a lot of games that I didn't think they would win last year. And yeah, Edgewater at 6.
I like Edgewater. Edgewater really is a very a good school. Uh, I think that Edgewater should be. I think they're right where they need to be.
At
I
5,
wouldn't.
excuse me.
I I
They're at
wouldn't bet
5.
against. I wouldn't bet against Edgewater. Like I said, they're very well coached. Anytime you can control the defensive line, anytime you got a good offensive line, defensive line, pretty much all these schools that we're naming, they generally do control that. The line of scrimmage. So big shout out to Edgewater. And like you said, they got the one guy that You make a mistake, the band is playing. So we got it number 4.
Number 4, we got Osceola. Osceola 9-3 last year.
Oh,
EP.
this dude, Ellis has, Ellis has, Ellis has Edgewater number 11. But go
Yeah,
ahead, man.
he
Yeah,
don't
go
know.
ahead.
So yeah, let's go. Osceola coming in at the 4th spot. Osceola last year was 9-3. Head coach Eric Pinellas, EP. Um, Osceola lost. They lost 3 games last year, but they lost twice to West Orange. Um,
Yeah,
so
I
maybe
beat
if
that
they
beat that thing, EP Chad, beat that thing. Chad, you owe me some chicken. Yeah, what's up with my chicken? No, I'm just joking. I
but yeah,
do
so
want some chicken
West
though.
they lost to West Orange 16-7 second round of the playoffs last year. Um, they bring a ton of talent back.
Yeah.
The only question mark for Osceola, the main question mark is the quarterback position. They lose Chad, a college quarterback. Anytime you have a quarterback that has the ability to go play college football and you have to replace that, it's going to be a tough task, but we'll see what they built for.
Yeah. Well, hey man, I'm gonna tell you like this. Uh, in my opinion, this is where, once again, I got outvoted. Let's make sure that everybody understands that. I personally think Osceola could be a little higher. This once again, like I said about the players, when you get to number 4 on up, it could really be anybody. That's just being
Anyone,
honest.
honestly.
But with that being said, hopefully everybody plays their part because if you lose, one thing for certain, we
Yeah,
gonna
it's drop.
drop you. Yeah, we gonna drop you. So go ahead. Who we got number 3?
You lose or you win ugly, you're dropping. But no, number 3, we got Coco, 11-2 ball club led by Ryan Schneider. They lost in the state championship to Cardinal Gibbons 21-19. Um,
No shame
very
in it.
a controversial ending. It was a good game. I watched the
But
entire
but
game.
but like I tell people, the thing about football is different. They beat Dr. Phillips and they lost that game. So
Okay, so
you got to be careful when you start talking about like because sometimes the calls go for you
and
and
sometimes they
sometimes
go
they don't.
against you.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I mean,
But I mean, a regular season loss against Dr. Phillips wouldn't have hurt him.
no, it wouldn't hurt them. I'm just saying you got to take the good with the bad.
Right.
You know,
They
because everybody talks about the call, on that 21-19, but nobody said anything about, because when it go good for you, everybody, oh yeah,
right,
but
right, right.
they had a great team. I
They
don't think
they
that
had
teams.
close calls all year last year. Remember
I
how
don't.
many 1 point games they had?
Yeah, they
They
played a
lost
hell
to
of a
Venice.
schedule.
They lost to Venice 21-20.
They played a hell of a
First
schedule.
game of the season.
Yeah, they played a hell of a schedule. One thing I will say, he playing damn near like he playing some of the best scheduling around. I got to
He
give him
doing the
credit.
same thing this year. They ain't
Yeah,
ducking nobody.
nah,
Well,
nobody can't say that.
Seminoles. Okay, so let's go on to number 2. Number 2. Um, Hopefully everybody come out in the city and show them boys some support this weekend. But we got Jones Tigers at number 2. They were 12-3 last year, led by Elijah Williams. They lost to Pine Forest in the semifinals. Um, we
by
like
by
them.
hey, by probably the greatest high school play I ever seen.
Oh
And it
man,
was a damn block extra point. I ain't never seen nobody get that high in my life. I'm just telling y'all
shit.
straight up. I've never seen nobody get that high in their life. Yeah.
Yeah, but what we got Jones at number 2. Jones bringing back a lot of talent.
Adam
I want
Malik.
look, yeah, they bring back Malik. They got tons of 2024s.
Jones is only
That
be the reality of it is if whatever their quarterback do, that's going to
quarterback.
determine their season.
Yep.
And they DBs. They DBs. They DBs got to play. They got
Yeah.
to play. If they DBs suck, they're gonna have a long season too. So their DBs got to play. Because their DBs, they've had a lot of talent back there, but sometimes they take cat naps. So
Right.
they can't afford none because they got a monster schedule. They got a monster schedule. So the first part of their schedule is, they're a team that, and for the record, they're the only team on this group that could lose 2 games and probably
And
still
not
get
go
it.
nowhere.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so people, let's talk about that right now. If Jones loses to IMG or Duncanville, I need everybody in the Elite 100 community to just relax because Duncanville and IMG would it be every other damn team in the area too. So when you talking national powerhouses and they got to go on the road to go to Texas and like that's gonna be the first time for a lot of them kids flying. You know what I mean? That's a college experience. Like so, I'm not too busy. I'm not worried about that game too much because Jones played IMG last year and they lost to him pretty ugly. If I be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah,
mm,
yeah. And I mean, it is what it is. So,
talking about an All Star
I just want to make sure that everybody understand that, so because I just said if you lose, you get dropped. I
correct.
wanted to make sure that we correct that,
Let's
so that
correct it though.
everybody understand that, that's what it is. So who we got at number one then?
Number
I
one, Bo Key, Seminole, led by Eric Lodge. They were 11-2 last year. They lost in the semifinals to Apopka. Um, I
no, that's in
mean,
the quarter. They lost in the quarterfinals to a pop.
quarterfinals, excuse me, quarterfinals to Apopka. Um, but yeah, just a quality ball club. They bring back a lot of talent. Um, I mean, they got Power Five players at every level. If not this year, then the years to come. Um, and I think they benefit, from being. They're not the one school in Seminole County, but they're the one school in Sanford. So
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. They
that
they
that
get
they
they
benefit
get a
from
lot
that.
of talent. So,
Correct.
shout out to those boys out there in Boki. They're number one. Like I said, I really can't argue with anybody in the top four. Uh, I really can't. I mean, any one of them could be easy the number one team. I look forward to seeing, what the teams do.
Right.
I mean, all of them. It's going to be interesting because that leads us up to. Let's move on because I know I got a little time left.
Got
Game of the week. Game of the week. Game of the week this week. Let me get your boy out of here. Let me get there. We go. Let's get old Ellis. Let's get Ellis out of here because he just ran his mouth. But go
Coco
ahead.
number two.
Game of the week.
Number of the game of the week this week on Friday. Hell, it'll be our number one team, Seminole, versus our number five team, Edgewater. Granted,
Hey,
it's the
before we get started, I want to say that's my mother-in-law, Renee Flagler Lee. She said good show. So man, y'all make sure y'all say what's up to her. Good woman. Gave me my wife. So I just want to give her a shout out. But anyway, now we back. Now we back to game of the week. We got two this week, right?
we got two this week. We got one Friday, Seminole at
Tomorrow.
Edgewater. At Edgewater. Um, it's the kickoff classic. So the rankings, I'm not sure what we're gonna do with the rankings. It's the kickoff
Shit.
classic.
Hey man, if they play, hey man, I'm old school.
But it don't
Hey,
it don't go against it doesn't
nah,
affect
I get it,
their
but
regular
you
schedule.
you can move up and down on the rankings, bro. Like if Edgewater go out there and beat Seminole 35 to nothing, I can't see that or if Jones go out there and beat Northwestern 35 to nothing, hey man, it is what it is. I mean, like like now if it's a 21-21 game, I get it. But if somebody go out there and do some spectacular, because
It
guess
just
what?
depends, man. If
And this is
if
why I'm gonna say this. This is why I'm gonna say this. The college coaches are gonna be looking at it.
okay, so this what I
So it's
say.
important.
It just depends on if the starters are truly playing the
Correct.
entire
Correct.
game.
Correct.
If
No,
the
no,
starters
right.
playing the whole
Right.
game, then we say
We gotta
okay.
look right.
For
Right.
instance, Jones versus Northwestern. I know for damn sure that that's going to be a real game because Miami Northwestern ain't traveling up from Miami
Oh,
for no
they're not even
preseason.
they're not even bringing the JV team.
Exactly.
Yeah, but what I will say that have seen in Central Florida that has changed. That kickoff classic where you used to play 3 quarters and the fourth
It's
quarter
getting
was the
serious
JV.
now.
Hey man, them days are gone. Dudes is really trying to figure this thing out. The only way the JV gonna play is in a blowout. Coaches like if that game is close, which is smart by these coaches by the way, because you want to be able to say, hey, we did beat this team.
Right.
Yeah, which is smart because you just don't know.
I mean, for Jones, I think it's great because
Oh, they
it's
got to
gonna
beat
let it's
Northwestern.
gonna it's
No,
gonna
they might
let
have to play them
Elijah
again.
know. It's gonna let Elijah know early who I could trust and who I could depend on.
Oh no, that
Because
those
if they
they
show up
got to
to
play
that
them.
game, if they
No,
show up against Miami Northwestern, they're gonna show up all year.
but the problem is this. you got to play them guys. You gonna have to play them again. Like if you really that good, you make it's a high possibility they make it out of Miami. You make it out of you make it from where Orlando. You got to play them again. So
And that's
you
the other thing. The districts and the new suburban and
oh
metro, like we got to learn this all
I
over
got it.
again.
I figured it out. That's what I'm saying. If both of them went out, they'll play again at state. And the last time that almost happened, it wasn't state, but Popka played D-Land in a kickoff classic, and then they end up having to play them to see who went to state. And believe it or not, a Popka blew D-Land out by 30 points, and then a Popka lost in the semifinals to go to state. So
So is Northwestern and Central and Carroll City all in back in the same
yeah,
the
they
same?
all back in 3A. So like the only team from Miami that got a shot is like Miami Columbus for 4A, and then 3A will be all those teams. 2A will be Chaminade. So like
Right.
3A is all the 5 and 6A teams. 5, 6A teams will be competing. 5, 6, and some of the 7A like St. Thomas Aquinas. You know, all of them would be in the same thing.
St. Thomas 3A now?
Hmm.
Or they the
And
four
they
the
3A
three
just
the
like
three
really just like
suburban?
Jones, yeah, like Jones, no Metro, excuse me, like Jones and Edgewater in the same district.
Yeah, they in the same
Jones,
district.
Edgewater, and everybody's saying Wakava. I don't see Wakava beating Jones and Edgewater, so
I
I
don't either,
just don't
but
see it.
I think Wakava will be more
They'll be a better team, but
competitive though. Yeah, for
right, but
sure.
yeah, but you ain't finna. I just don't see it. But if they do, guess what? They're gonna make the
Yeah.
playoffs. Like now, that's just what it is. So, but Edgewater, since we're doing game of the week, let's go ahead and pick them. Who you got? You got Bo Key.
Nah,
Who you
man,
got Edgewater?
I ain't doing that, man. It's the kickoff classic. You ain't
I
finna pull
do it,
this
man.
on me,
Look,
man.
I'll do it because I don't have no problem with it. Hey, they playing. One thing about it, these teams are gonna be playing. You know, I'm gonna
Well,
give. I'm
I got insider information. I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you know or not, but
which one? Which game?
Seminole.
All right. Well, hey, if Seminole ain't playing, then
No, they
that's okay.
playing, but I'm saying that they got a couple situations over there.
Yeah, but hey, my thing is, I was picking Edgewater anyway.
Damn, he picking Edgewater.
I'm picking Edgewater. I think
I didn't think
Edgewater.
I
I
didn't think
mean, no, I was just picking Edgewater. Hey, I'm gonna make all these crazy ass picks in the kickoff classic. Shit, if it
Hey,
don't
I
matter,
know one thing though. Every time I picked against
I do it.
Edgewater last year,
They
said
won.
lit my ass up and
Yeah.
had 300 yards
Yeah,
every
I'm gonna
time.
pick Edge. I'm gonna pick Edgewater just because when the season start, I'm not pretty much gonna pick against Bo Key all year. And then the Bo Key people when they see this, they go, he picked against me. You know how like how they do all year. But I honestly, I don't think I picked against him last year. But I think that you know I think that in all seriously, I couldn't pick the game because I don't know what's going to happen. But I
Yeah,
wish I was in town because I'd like to see the game. I like to see how them boys at Bo Key line up. I just want to see how people line up against said. Because
yeah.
Sand is a problem. I mean, I really want to see how teams defend him. I really do. I got to admit that. Oh, you got Charles Carter. Now we did. I tell you, well, all you got
Hey,
to do is start talking about. I do. Hey man, look. I tell you, man, all you got to do is start. See, that's what I like. I like to see people starting over.
all I know is I love Seminole. I think they the number one. They one of the better programs in the area.
No
But if they
question.
linebackers don't come to play,
Yeah, it's gonna hey,
it's
because
over.
hey, I don't know too many corners and safeties to go to keep banging with said. That's
It's
all I'm saying.
over.
But anyway,
I saw said beat Jones last year pretty much. You
by
know,
himself. Yeah.
yeah, I want to say by himself because he was a lot of the production. Jones did not have an answer for him at all.
Yeah, nah, it's gonna be interesting because I tease, I wanted that's what I want. I want that interaction, but see, but what I will say is that's the thing.
See that?
Can Edgewater cover their wide receivers, and can Seminole handle said Baxter? That's really what it boils
All right,
down to.
so
So
I
that's it.
will. I know that.
No, we're not calling the
Um,
game. I was just messing around there, but we're not picking. But we are going to be watching all these games to see what people really look like. We
I
got
mean,
to.
okay, so the whole matchup. Um, yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm saying I look forward to it because you're gonna learn a lot about the good thing about these classics and them being so close to the season. You're gonna learn a lot about everybody's team. Now let's go to Northwestern and Jones. Who you got?
I'm
What are
not
we looking at?
picking, bro. What are you talking about?
No, no, I just man, I just do it because hey, matter of fact, I got the Northwestern team. They're gonna beat the brakes off of Jones.
Hey, so look, I've been seeing in the group in these Central Florida groups. I was born in Miami.
Yeah,
I just feel like once you got 305 in your blood, it don't never go nowhere. But I have resided in Orlando
for a
for
long
so
time.
long that I'm a 4-7 baby. I'm just gonna go enjoy the game, man.
Nah, man, to be honest, I just said that hoping that some fool from Jones will come on here and act a fool. But to
Don't
be
let
honest,
KJ them see
yeah,
this.
that's fair. I was hoping that one of them fools came on here and said it. Honestly, I'll tell people like this. I do
Correct.
agree.
Northwestern does have the
I do
experienced
agree with that,
quarterback,
and he's a good quarterback, an
a
excellent quarterback.
good quarterback.
Uh,
He's a
I,
winner.
I'm looking forward to seeing the game. I won't be able to see Edgewater because I'll be down, of course, in Miami with my son. But I will be able to see that game, and I look forward to seeing it
Yeah,
because I just hope that one thing I will say that I don't like about Central Florida that I don't understand it because where I'm from, if you anywhere from around our crib, we gonna support us. I see Central Florida people, oh Miami, no, no, like I see people do all that, it, and my boy Pine Hill said pick a side. No, I'm, I just, we need people to complain and all that, but the bottom line is, just for the show, but the bottom line is everyone should be out supporting Jones.
for real
Every
though.
everybody in the whole city should be out supporting Jones. These are our kids. Because one thing about Miami, I promise you, they ain't gonna support you.
Promise.
I
And,
promise you that.
and
I
let
promise you that.
let 20 dudes from Miami be out of town and something break out. I bet all 20 of them become brothers like that.
No, but no, the thing is, even when when they fuss and they fight, but when it's time to go to state, everybody in Miami is down for the team from Miami.
Correct.
Everybody. Oh, Yvette say she got 305 blood, but she for Jones. That's what I'm talking about. That's the way it's supposed to be. So we'll see. Now that's a fair assessment, I will
I
say.
doubt. If you think that Jones is gonna be on that 3-quarter bull crap, y'all crazy. Elijah ain't crazy. He know Northwestern ain't coming up here for no damn kickoff classic. This finna be a banger.
Yeah, no, I expect. Hey, I
This
expect
is a
Elijah to hold it
real
down.
game.
Yeah, I expect Elijah to put it down. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure. Them boys should be hungry because you know 3 years ago, whether they were there or not, they know that team is a team that cost them a state championship.
Correct.
So you got a few guys that was on that team. So I look forward to seeing what they do. Me personally, I'm gonna support every Orlando team there is, unless y'all playing. Even when Jones go play Duncanville, because that's not in my neighborhood, I rock with Jones. If you play anybody from San Antonio, I'm rocking with San Antonio. It's just what it is. But yeah, so I appreciate Boki coming to support. Big shout out to Boki because that's what I told somebody the other day. They do support. Come and support everybody. I do give because I saw them, at a few games last year. So big shout out to them boys. But hey man, that's pretty much. Wait. We got one more thing we got to do before we go. I mean, the show went a little longer than what we thought, but we got to talk about two things. Oh, we got offers. I just want to make sure that you tell all the kids, hey man, these next 4 games are important. I heard from a college coach straight up. You go out there, it's dudes with offers. You go out there and lay an egg, you ain't gonna be able to commit to that school on signing day. And there's guys out there who don't have offers. You go out there and show out. You're gonna get just like a kid like Tay's brother that he's at Utah now. But
Utah.
remember, he had no offers going into into the year. So guys, here's the time to go out there and do your best. With that being said, because we got like 4 minutes. We went a little longer than usual. Next we went 2 hours because it's the first show to kind of get everybody up to par. We ain't gonna be talking about rankings and stuff like that, so it's gonna go
Right.
slower than that. But we need to talk about sponsorship for the Elite. AJ, tell the people about the Elite 100 tackle football game that's going on in December, and talk about sponsorships, and definitely talk about the social media and place like that.
All right. So the Elite 100, Last year we had our inaugural game. Seniors only. It went great. It was at Jones High School. Before that game, we also had a 14U game between Pine Hills Trojans and West Orlando Jaguars. Because they'll be the next crop of kids to come to high school. So it's always good to get them involved early.
You know what I'd like to see this year with that game that we have. Uh, you know, one of these teams like the talk a lot of noise like Rockledge, T-Rone, play against a team like from Jones or something like that. 14U, some teams that they're feeder type programs, or so that we could judge them against other kids. Two good 14Us bang against each other before the game. I would love to see
We
that.
we tried to get Osceola last
Yeah,
year, but
yeah,
they were still playing damn
correct. Because they playing,
regional. They were still in the playoffs.
yeah, because it depends on the leagues. That's what makes it
Right.
hard. Yeah,
So we couldn't even do that matchup. But the game was a success. Um a lot of kids were able to get some quality film against quality opponents.
correct.
A couple kids did walk away with scholarship opportunities to play at the next level. So the game this year, it'll be sometime in June. I mean, in December. We have yet to finalize a location, but those are all things that we're in the works. Working with a sponsor. If you would like to be a sponsor, you can contact us on any of our social media platforms. You can email us at elite100@gmail.com. We would love to talk with you, help grow your business. Some of the advantages of sponsoring with us is we reach 6 different counties in Central Florida, dealing with Osceola, Seminole, Orange, Lake, Volusia, and Brevard County. Everyone knows that Florida, high school football in the state of Florida is king. So you want to get your company out there to grow your company with us. We have different packages you can look into, from title sponsors to media packages, weekly packages. It's several things that we offer that we believe will help benefit your company. So we'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's what's up. So hey, let's make sure that we get out and support. One thing we got to do a better job of is supporting on this stuff costs money. We want to be able to provide a good quality event for these kids. We want to keep it going. We want to have our own all-star games. If you know somebody that knows
Know
somebody,
somebody.
make sure that you hook us up. We appreciate it. And like I said, man, next week we get on. We look forward to it. May God bless each and every one of these young men, their families, each and every one of these teams. Remember, guys, it ain't really that serious. Let's just be good parents, good, people. Let's teach our kids the right thing to do. So good sportsmanship is all in fun. I hope all these kids, all these teams are successful. And hey, let's just make sure we positive with the kids. So that's about it, man. So hey, next week, same time, same bad station, 7 o'clock. Hey, spread the word about the show. We'll be 7 to 8. Hey, we look forward to seeing you guys. Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace.